A holiday shortened week here on a Tuesday. Hope everyone enjoyed what was a hot holiday long weekend, or U.S. holiday long weekend on this side of the border. Dara with me this morning. Sharif off for the day. We'll get him back in the seat tomorrow morning. Lots to discuss this morning, including GME back to the upside in a pretty big way here this morning. We'll touch on that. Apple getting a nice pop on positive note. Coming out of China, iPhone sales last month higher than expected. Comes on the back of a whole bunch of analysts saying that that wasn't going to be the case going back just a week ago. So the back and forth China story continues here for not only Apple, but the iPhone side of things. NVIDIA's rally continuing after earnings last week as well. We had the 10-for-1 stock split announced. We also had just an absolute blowout quarter for NVIDIA. DraftKings downside, more possible upside for Dell. This is what the overall market looks like right now. Starting in the pre-market here, we are higher to kick things off, but only just 0.3 right now, 0.29 in fact, after a nice move into the close going all the way back to Friday. Feels like a long time ago Friday, but hey, here we are. Happy Tuesday. That feels like a Monday.
Yeah, happy Tuesday to you as well. Yeah, I was with Sean in the market recap when that GameStop news hit, and yet seeing it this morning, I was like, oh, that's what that was. Like, that 3 days does give you some separation, but there are actually a lot of interesting catalysts to kick off this shortened week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge share sale, but I mean, enough to get retail investors, interested once again. So yeah, huge move upside. For GME, once again this morning, I was going to scroll down here to see if they had anything on Fed speakers. Yeah, there are a few today. There's Neil Kashkari is going to come through at 9:55, so keep that in mind. And then Mary Daly and Lisa Cook to come later on in the day as well. Yeah, GME higher, AMC trying to follow in its footsteps. We get CAVA earnings, Apple to the upside as well, as we mentioned. It's the first day back after the holiday weekend, and apparently Sean's stuck in traffic. So Randy's with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everybody. Superman is in the building, apparently, as Randy's in the house. Sean just stuck a little bit of traffic. We'll be in a little bit later. It does happen. And it was I hope everyone had a fantastic, first of all, had a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. Our weather was okay. I mean, it was a little damp. A little damp. There was a bunch of rain, but we're through the moon because we made the smart decision to actually end up going to the theme park on Saturday instead of yesterday.
That's cool.
And my daughter got to do like a bunch of rides. It was fantastic because it was just all rain yesterday. Though bad news for myself, I didn't mention this. I have this like sciatic pain going on because after a birthday party on Sunday, one of the kids in the neighborhood who had the party, they did this, they went back to his house, and then all of a sudden, like a big street hockey game starts happening. And I had some stuff to do at home, so I'm like, whatever, the kids are all out playing in the street. My daughter runs back home and comes in and is like, Daddy, you gotta come out and play. It's kids versus the adults. So I just throw on my Crocs, thinking whatever, like it's just a little street hockey game. Mm-hmm. Like, first of all, they had like reinforcements. There was like 5 or 6 kids versus like 4 dads, but they had like a rotation of 3 or 4 that were continuously coming in. Like I was running my butt off, and I'm not even good at street hockey. So I was like, it was intense, and now my back hurts because I'm an old man. But GameStop is going crazy. We got Bitfarm, by the way, Riot interested in buying Bitfarm, so BITF is also on the move a little bit here. Apple's going to be in play, Tesla's going to be in play, and ho-hum, NVIDIA wants 1,100, Randy.
That's it?
1,100. What do you mean that's it?
I'm bullish.
I know you're bullish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're also going to watch, we have an OPEC meeting coming up on June the 2nd. For the first time in a while, they're doing a video-only meeting in Austria, in Vienna. Going to be an interesting meeting because there's a 2.2 million barrel cut right now. I think that's going to swing the other direction with Russia overproducing, Kazakhstan overproducing, U.S. shale output is up. So with demand, summer demand increasing a little bit, will they consume that output? I don't think so. I think we're going to see some profit taking before the meeting, XOM and Chevron and some of the others. But few days to wait for that, but some interesting plays on the energy sector right now.
Oh, I know you like that
love that stuff.
XOM. I'm in Chevron myself, but yeah, I would like to see that hold up. I know a lot of people are interested or excited about what's going on in silver.
And copper.
Yeah, copper back on the move, but it's silver that's finally participating. I even heard you can see Yanni standing up back there. I caught wind of him and Obi even talking about silver this morning. So we got a lot to look at, a lot to line up. Holiday shortened week, like we said, a bit of a GameStop week as well. GameStop, not AMC, because, you know, you got to have the offering that everyone loved on Friday. So let's head back to the desk and get to it.
A few other things moving around here this morning. I'm just double checking on Wedbush with a positive note for Airbnb. Higher this morning. They're going to 165, it looks like, on the price target for ABNB. Not a lot of volume. Neil, you mentioned that BITF. Again, Riot looking into, I guess, maybe kicking the tires a little bit on BITF. So RIOT looking into BITF. Here is Bitcoin. This is an hour chart. If you go out even further, get a better idea. Not a heck of a lot going on here. We're just chopping around this 68.5 area currently for Bitcoin, back below 70,000 as of yesterday, and held below 70,000. So Bitcoin itself still holding the top end of the range, but overall just hanging out. There's AMD, nice gap to the upside this morning, mostly on the back of NVIDIA strength. Here's the big one though, 22% here for GME. Just as we thought the party was over for some of the meme stocks, we're back higher in a big way here this morning. AMC, as we said when we came on, was about 6%, now back to about 4% here.
Yeah, I saw Faraday Future moving up as well this morning, CISS. It's also worth noting we have some names with some pretty decent short floats reporting this week. We have Foot Locker over 10% short float, Kohl's over 30% short float. So I think some of these meme or heavily shorted names could definitely be back on watch in addition to this GME news, guys.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be watching. I mean, there's the China headline on Apple this morning. A lot of people are going to be watching the same thing for Nike specifically, but Foot Locker tied into that as well. So yeah, focus on some of the semiconductors. Again, there's the SMH. If you zoom out to, that's just a 15-minute chart, but what is it? 3, 4, 5, call it 6 days in a row here, straight to the upside. Yeah, 1,100 in play here possibly today for NVIDIA on the back of that 10-for-1 split announcement and earnings last week.
Going to be watching those symbols. I heard you say everyone's watching Apple this morning, everyone's watching NVIDIA. All those eyeballs in the market with so much to watch, but nobody was watching the flop of Furiosa over the weekend. That's my way of saying. Was it good, Fabian? Okay, well, Fabian says it was good. I have absolutely no idea. I can't remember the last time I was in a theater. I like Mad Max. Actually, I'm sure, you know, it probably is a good movie, but it did like 30 million, Fabian, so that's like one of the, I can't remember. You're supposed to do 100 million when you open up on, whatever, when you open up on Memorial Day weekend, but not very good for them. I think that maybe that doesn't bode the best for AMC, but who cares, because it's not a fundamental story. Now, NVIDIA, on the other hand, we know the split's coming up. Obviously, that's going to happen on the 10th, so you're going to come in, and you only have like a couple of weeks left to trade this thing when it's in the thousands, and then like 5 years later, it'll be right back up there again, I suppose. So it's just, at this point, you see it breaking out, you see it going. We always talk about the EVs and some of the bad stocks when the charts look nasty. It's like it's a short till it's not. Well, you just want to be looking for longs until sort of proven otherwise, I think, with NVIDIA. And what will be interesting today for me will be a little bit of AMD as well, just because it had that reversal day on Friday. It was nasty on Thursday. I think everybody understands how bad things were. For AMD specifically. It was a big time rejection, 173 top, it broke through 170 and just could not even find a bid, even late in the day. You know, like 240, 250, it finally got a bit of a bump, and that was down underneath 160 bucks. So you're still inside of that range, and if we're going to continue higher with all the chips, then AMD's held the 50 period, it's held the 165, which I like for longs off 165 today, and if we break out the top, it could get absolutely flame throwing to the upside, and there he is.
All right.
Still in the shades. Randy, you can't. No. We just changed it back to. We're at all-time highs. You know that?
there's
Granny doesn't care that we're at all-time highs. He changes the bull to a bear every single chance that he gets here.
We're gonna no.
We just talked NVIDIA at 11, almost at 1100.
NVIDIA's the exception to the rule. You know what week it is?
Apple's also up, by the way.
Do you know what week it is?
What week it is?
It's recall week.
Oh goodness, recall week.
Recall week.
It's T+1 day, by the way.
There was 22 million recalls globally in the last week and a half.
What?
22 million. Remember, I think Brenda mentioned last week that Lamborghini recalled, what, 2,200 or something?
Which is a lot for them.
The list gets larger. It's, so not just EVs, but cars in general. But yeah, recalls galore. I was following it last night, and it just goes on and on and on and on, and that do not drive your vehicle.
Apparently not.
So, yeah, you might want to pay attention to your latest recall list and see if you're on it.
They'll sell Ford?
Well, not just Ford, like everybody, BMW and Volkswagen and Mazda, Honda, Acura, and the list. It's a bit concerning. I don't know. You spend that kind of money on a vehicle, and you kind of hope you can drive it to work the next day, but maybe not.
That would be the idea in general.
It's a bit.
What's interesting is the only reason I say sell Ford, I'm joking, because Ford's been sitting at support for the last couple of.
Yeah, it's been.
I mean, the last few months, actually, if you look at it, it's just chilling out at $12. And now, if it loses this, maybe like it's like $11.80, then it's in some trouble. But lower highs into a potential flat bottom on Ford. It's flat today. I mean, there's no specific catalyst there. But if this doesn't hold on to this 1180 level, I think it looks pretty nasty down there in Ford. The last of my shares, I don't know if they. I might just sell them. If it doesn't hold this level, it's ridiculous. Like I bought them at that $11 level, and
Right.
like on the daily some time ago, and they always did well off the 11 level, usually bouncing into 15. They pay a little dividend, then they lost it, and the last time it got to 13, I trimmed some. But it's like, what are you even doing in this stock? If it doesn't hold on to this, it's going to get real nasty for Ford. We'll obviously be talking more Tesla than anything today, because more discussions about Elon's pay package and yada yada yada. Like, not to beleaguer the point, but usually a contract matters. The stock performed. Now they don't want to pay him. It is what it is.
We've had this discussion.
We've had that discussion many times.
I think he deserves the pay package, to be honest. Yeah, there's a lot of drama that goes with the pay. The tweets and all the other, the nonsense, but where they're going, there's some headwinds. We've got Chinese competition coming in. There's things on the horizon that he needs to focus on, pay attention to.
No doubt.
Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he's off in, la la land, but I think they're in a good position long term. It's just a matter of staying focused. There's problems. Chinese production problems, Berlin production problems, other things, semi numbers that we have not seen yet, no Model 2 in sight. There's all kinds of things that we're waiting in the wings for. So if we can stay focused on that, I see a good run for Tesla, but not for a bit. Probably towards the end of the month, maybe breaking into June. We're gonna see some production numbers come out.
That'd be fine by me, because we just bounced off the bottom of the channel. Although now our little side 200 thing, Apple looking like it's going to get to 200. It's at 192 or something, 193, while Tesla's chilling back underneath 180. So that one's still a bit of a battle, because Tesla moves a little bit faster. But let's head on back to the desk. But Tesla, bit of a hold of the 50 period here. I think it's got a decent chance. Although I'm looking some shorts today on Tesla. Let's go back to Brendo.
A couple things to note here. WEWKQ is WeWork on the OTC market. Adam Newman apparently ending his bid to reacquire WeWork. This is going back a few months ago. It might have even been the end of 2023, I want to say, when this first started floating around once again, that he was trying to gather some funds together to maybe to reacquire the company. But again, WEWKQ, we were supposed to have Mendel today, but he unfortunately could not join us. So we may actually touch base with Jeff on Friday. Adam Newman has ended his bid again to reacquire WeWork, for anyone following the WeWork story. Here is Qualcomm, meanwhile. That's quite the daily chart going into the weekend, even. Huge green candle for QCOM. We're all the way up here this morning, 216.56 right now for Qualcomm on the back of this Apple note.
That's a great look there for Qualcomm initially, too, with some of these other adjacent names, AMD, we know Dell as well, moving off that NVIDIA news, but another specific Apple-related catalyst here for Qualcomm, definitely not a bad look as we head into the rest of the week. That's a really great looking chart after that nice gap up there, so good look for QCOM.
Yeah, if anyone missed it or you're just joining right now, again, China sales of iPhones up 52%. In April. That was on the back of, if you remember the past couple of weeks, many analysts suggesting it was going to be the exact opposite to that Apple had slipped to number 3 in China and sales were going to reflect that. But again, data showing Apple's iPhone sales in China up 52% ahead of the next iteration of the iPhone.
At all, 52%, and he's gone. No more Randy.
Yeah.
Sean in the building, obviously, as you guys can tell, just getting set up in there.
Yeah, I'm trying here. Hey, I heard, so I heard you were running around a little bit, and then now you've hurt your back. Like, honestly.
Okay, no, but this was.
And I saw some chats stretching. I think you gotta do more of that.
No, but the idiot move was like, instead of like, I'm playing street hockey with kids.
Are we on these charts here, or what's
I don't know.
going on
That's
here?
not even my chart. We'll get to Qualcomm in a
I feel
second.
like today's.
In my defense, I didn't realize that a legitimate street hockey game was gonna be happening. Like I just thought I was going out there to like hold a stick while some kids ran around. Next thing I know, I'm like running up and down the pavement in my Crocs.
Right.
And without even warming up or anything, just completely cold. Like it was just not smart on my part.
But didn't you have the Crocs in sport mode, or?
Yeah, you think that matters in sport mode? I did have them in sport mode.
I mean,
but it
needs to be in sport mode.
It didn't help. Whatever. I've stretched a bunch. It's better than it was. But yesterday was a little bit of pain.
Yeah, and then you went to Wonderland. I was wondering if you went because
we went Saturday instead.
Oh, you went Saturday instead. Because we were sitting there yesterday, and I said, you know what, this is actually a perfect day because it cleared up at noon.
But she had soccer.
Right.
So we figured we'd have to leave early.
Yeah.
So we went on Saturday instead when we could stay a little bit later.
I was like, oh man, this is a perfect day to go because I was telling the story that you said that you were going to go.
Yeah.
And then it was pouring rain. And then we were sitting outside and it was 11 or 12 o'clock. We went out for breakfast, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked and I said, oh my God, it's clearing.
It was.
And then I said, this now is the best time to go because everybody has booked out.
And you know what they do? That's the point. Is like.
And I see Sharif partying too hard this weekend. Sharif?
Well, it was his birthday. You know.
Okay.
Probably had a good time. I'm gonna make the assumption.
All right.
Long weekend, birthday.
He
probably owns a bunch of Qualcomm shares that he's happy about. I'm assuming.
Is Qualcomm bumping up? I got to get to work on
3 points to the upside on Qualcomm here. It's like the number of stocks, and I actually heard Yannick talking about this. Yannick and Obi were in sort of talking about like the overall look of the market. Like everything's at highs. Like it's hard to like shorts when things are breaking out like this. So Qualcomm continues to run higher on the Apple news. Sympathy for them. I don't know if I love this trade over Apple, but yeah, I'm looking at Apple pull back into previous support. Qualcomm's actually stronger on the chart than Apple is. Like Apple's dipped back in about a couple of dollars here. I'll show you guys. Like in the pre-market, Apple's dipped back in a couple bucks, which does put it with at least a chance maybe of dipping into what last week's highs are already here. And then you have like 191.50 is a big level, but you can't see it on that 3-minute chart. So this is stronger move so far on Qualcomm. Partly because the volume's not there. With the future starting to come back in, you're actually seeing this hold its gains. Will that be true when we get to 930, or will we be back at like that 212 level? That remains to be seen. I'm just going to be more interested in Apple, and we'll get to that one when we get the rundown going. Back to the desk, no?
Right. A couple other things to note here, guys. Just saw some volume coming back in on AMC. I mean, it's still higher on the session, but we are giving back a little bit here. On the back of this GME move. Yeah, it is downside. My chart not updating right now. Zscaler as well, just popping up. ZS. Rosenblatt with a downgrade on ZS. So another one just moving around here. Let's get a few analyst moves to kick things off this morning. We'll wait for a second. Dara's over at the big screen, but thoughts here, guys, maybe on ZS downside, AMC giving back a little bit now, GME coming off from where it was as well.
Andy, thank you for the reload. I got the boom.
Yo, what's up?
Boom.
Fabian, are you restarting the Unity server? Oh, it's all back and forth.
So basically, we are helpless without anybody in our ears telling us where to go and what to do.
Are we supposed to trade today, or?
No, we'll be good.
I think it was Qualcomm. I think it.
Well,
was
we
it
already did
Zscaler?
Qualcomm.
Oh,
It's
Zscaler.
So remember like a second ago when we're like everything is at the highs and all the charts look fantastic and everything is along and all that good stuff? Well, Zscaler is kind of not looking like that right now. This just it rejected the 50. If we've had a million up days in a row in the NASDAQ, Zscaler has had one green day in the last week and a half. So not necessarily the best. If it holds 165, great, because that would be this level in here. And remember, you had sky-high valuations for all of the, basically all the security names, cybersecurity names, and some of them are pretty expensive still. I don't know if there's enough volume here for a trade, but 100,000 there. But this does get down to 165. That's a pretty big level. The last one standing for Z.
I'm not even looking at charts, and there's nothing on my sticky note, but the number one idea will be Apple. So I'll get some levels. All right, Adara, what's up?
Regent Cruise Line Holdings is up here to start this holiday shortened week. They're getting an upgrade from Mizuho, pretty positive note. Airbnb here also up on an upgrade from Wedbush, up almost 2%, 165 price target, so nice look there as well. Deckers here up about 1%, getting this price target increase and upgrade from Truist Securities. We also have Truist upgrading On Holdings AG, running brand here, up about almost 3% with a $46 price target, so nice look for ONON. Downgrade, Southwest kicking off the list here, getting this downgrade from Argus Research. Zscaler, this is actually a different downgrade. We had that downgrade as well coming from Rosenblatt, as mentioned by Brendan, but Wells Fargo also downgrading Zscaler and lowering their price target from about 275 to 182, so pretty significant decrease there for ZS. Triumph Group, TGI, giving this downgrade from TD Cowen, and last but not least, Surf Air trading higher here, up almost 6%, but getting a downgrade and a pretty steep price target decrease from Bernstein on some financial concerns. So interesting look here to kick off a holiday shortened week, guys.
Yeah, we just mentioned Zscaler, but Airbnb, that's looking a little bit better than it has the last couple of weeks. I mean, they got smoked. Well, smoked is the wrong word. They got hit hard on earnings, bounced off to 200 on Friday, and a little continuation action today. So we're not at 150 yet. That's this level. So post earnings resistance is 150. As long as you're not there, that means there's room for it to get there. Yeah. I mean, today's going to be, likewise, like I said with Qualcomm and Apple, I like Apple today. And I know there's going to be some GameStop trading today, in addition to DraftKings. We'll get to that one. So I don't know if you can throw this in there with really light volume. But if we have a hold of this would be 146.5 in here, and this is like 146. If it holds that line and the market stays strong, Airbnb looks pretty good today for a little continuation rally. Just don't see enough volume for me to be in love with it. And if it breaks 150 some point this week, I think it's got a chance to continue to fill in that gap. So I like it, Airbnb. I like what it's doing, bouncing off that 200 period on the daily. You just need more volume for a catalyst. I don't mind trading things on upgrades and downgrades, but I want to see more than normal pre-market volume to get in.
Yeah, I don't know, just with some of this, and we're going to talk about, I'm sure we're going to get to DraftKings at some point as well, but it's just like all this legislation that keeps coming through. Airbnb is dangerous for that reason. It's just an investment waiting to collapse. What's already collapsed a little bit, I think, and I still think it's really strong, man. I mean, I still really think Uber's a great opportunity, a great technology, in a great space, disturbing. I mean, these guys have, created a brand new, like I say, they disturbed that cab industry, the delivery industry. I really like companies that do this, and they're innovating, and I like Uber down here. I'm still so worried about that stupid robo-taxi story, but anyway, this is a name that's getting close, I think. Anyways, that 200 period, this could be something to buy. I always keep my eye on it. I'd like to hear some upgrades and downgrades on Uber as well, just because we just talked about that. There doesn't look to be anything today, but I want to keep my eye on Uber here. If we can get in around $60, I think it's a decent spot to buy right now. NASDAQ heading, just bounced off the 50 period to the downside here on the NASDAQ. So, I don't know. Despite being up here, I'm actually, what did Randy, we have a bull and a bear here? I don't know. I'm trying to think about a little bearish action coming through today. All right, let's get some short ideas here. But we have lots of ideas. Get the watch list on tradertv.live. We're going to start running through it pretty soon.
Haven't done so. I'll show you the website here coming up in a second. I was just reading a couple of things, a little bit more information coming out on that BITF. If you missed it this morning, again, Riot apparently interested in bit farms, or kicking the tires at least on BITF. No deal or anything announced, just more speculation coming across that this could in fact happen. So another little pop there for BITF. One that you mentioned, Adara, early on, FFIE. Whoops, FFIE, not R. Not really participating here as far as the other quote-unquote meme stocks is concerned. 5.5 million shares traded, though, on Faraday to this point this morning. Some of the Chinese ADRs also showing some positivity. There's NIO gapping back to that $5 mark. XPeng a little bit less as far as the gap is concerned. Li Auto downside even. As Sharif takes a day off, he'll enjoy Li Auto downside.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that statement. It's interesting, too. We do have, in some of these other Chinese EV names, a little bit of strength. Li and XPeng reported last week. We have NIO reporting next week, so there'll be a lot to watch out for in that space. And again, as well, anything with some of these meme names. FFIE maybe not super up right now, but certainly with volume, so it could be one to watch.
An earnings name just popping up in front of me here as well. That was, is that this morning or after the close? Yeah, it is this morning. NanoX Imaging. Might be a earnings call on here for NNOX. Just be aware if anyone's looking at that. Yeah, decent sized move downside here. That's what it looks like if you zoom in a little bit, all the way down to $8 here. This is NanoX Imaging. NVDA has an investment in this one.
Yeah, it's one of the companies that they announced an investment in, along with the likes of SoundHound going back to mid-February. So this could definitely be one to watch in tandem with that NVIDIA moves. We've seen the type of move SoundHound has had since that investment. So NNOX for sure could be interesting.
Yeah, it was 8:30. That looks like the earnings call started here for NanoX Imaging, guys. But yeah, Q1 revenue 2.6 million, missing expectations to the downside. Net income, a loss of 12.2 million for NNOX. I mean, if you zoom out on this thing, the daily chart tells the story.
So,
Over 1,000.
like NNOX would be, it'd be better if it was good news, because like right at $8, and you think you'd get at least a little bit of a NVIDIA love for it as well, but this looks pretty darn bearish right now. And like you said, if there's a call going on, let's let this one subside. I mean, you can look at a daily chart and anybody can see, okay, well, it gapped up, got to 15 bucks, pulled back into 8, and now it's at $8 after like 8 days in a row, or however many that is, doesn't really matter. Maybe 8 or 9 days in a row to the downside. So either it holds $8 or this gets nasty. And with the call going on, potentially, you know, we'll look at this one. If it's underneath $8 at the open and just starting to trend down, it's probably short with room down to like 715. But that would be so much more interesting if it would be going to the upside on any kind of strength. Like bouncing off a level like that in this space with a 13% short float is just more, it's just more interesting to look for along, but not with the pressure that it happens to be under right now. I just want to be, so on that bit farm, our Unity's not up, so sometimes I can't hear exactly everything that that Brendan is saying. But on that bit farm, there is no sure price yet, but there's some online that are saying like $2.30 potentially in cash. So it's, I mean, if it's trading this close to it, you know, that there wouldn't be that much more upside unless there was kind of a squeeze. But we'll keep our ear to the ground for any kind of actual price or terms when it comes to this Riot and then BITF potential deal. The volume's pretty good here, and if they do announce a deal today, it's going to do a ton of volume and be worth some scalp trading for sure. But nothing firm just yet. We see on Twitter 230.
Yeah, I saw someone in the chat say, forget it all, just look at GME, and I think you're probably right, to be honest with you. I mean, depending on what kind of trading you're trying to do here today, NVIDIA's going to be $1,100. That's going to be super expensive, and a lot of traders won't look there. But with this, we've been talking about this for a minute, man. I said, we've all been saying that there's a good chance that you get going again here on some of these names. And I think Adair and I definitely talked about this on that recap on Friday, just that we were coming into some levels that we were bouncing off at. We like these 17-18s, then we had that notes offering. That was, and we, Adair and I were talking about it being at market price, so that got filled. Now you know, the equity's being bought, which is great. So it's a nice move up here for GameStop. So yeah, my mind is here. I'm just going to pay for shorts because you never know what's going to happen. But up here, 24 bucks. I mean, that looks like a great break there. Trying to get going again back to the upside here is GME. So like, yeah, super excited to come in and see this name moving around, because there are a lot. Again, what you're looking for, volatility, volume, key levels, it's all here, you know, and we've been trading GME for a very long time. So I like these levels down at 22 bucks for GameStop. So I don't know if there's any apes or any roaring cats in the audience here right now today, but let's get ready to rock and roll. We're here to trade some GameStop. So I'm looking to see what happens in and around that $22-ish mark. Maybe a bust long immediately off the open as well. So we'll have to watch out for GameStop.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into everything you need to know here heading towards the open on a Tuesday. If you haven't done so, go to the website, tradertv.live, super easy. Wait for that pop-up and then enter your email address. And then you get that every single morning, everything you need to know delivered right to your inbox. Top of the list this morning is GME, as we were discussing as we came on there at 8:30, 45 million shares being sold at 933.4 million notional. So this was after the close on Friday. This initially comes out. Here we are taking out that $24 mark this morning.
Yeah, really nice look for GME, selling $45 million worth of stock. 45 million shares, $933 million worth of stock here in at the market offering. They didn't specifically disclose the price, but it was at the market, people saying like $20.75. Worth noting here as well, this was actually announced earlier as the meme craze kind of began its resurgence. So really good timing on the part of GameStop here, and certainly an interesting look for this company and some of these other short float names like AMC, FFIE, Faraday Future, with some volume this morning as well.
Yeah, I mean, not participating anywhere near to the extent of GME, but there's AMC up 5% once again, trying to get back above $5 here this morning, guys.
After the weekend box office, like I said with the weekend box office, I'm not as sure I love the idea of AMC sympathy as much as I normally would. A, GameStop's the one that moved on Friday. B, GameStop they're the one that had the offering news. C, they're the ones that started the whole meme craze. And then if you throw in the fact that AMC also had the disappointment, people not going to the theaters as much as they used to over the holiday long weekend, which is usually a big one. So I'm going to be focused on GameStop. Now, clearly, it's got great volume today. It's already up 25%. But remember we said last week, when these things kind of taper off and go sideways for a bit, there is your little downspin, and everyone sort of forgets about it. Then it gets a bit of a catalyst. I don't expect any kind of a move now to resemble what the first one did. But even if it goes halfway to what those tops were, you can have a ridiculously explosive move. So, you know, locates are in there just so that we can have the optionality if something stupid happens to look for short. But unless something completely insane happens, I don't see myself looking short. There's 23.5, which was the pre-market, well, post-market around the highs at 4 o'clock, and was also that little range bottom over the last couple of weeks, and then this is 21. Like, those are the only two levels I got going on GameStop. This could be a breakout the top and into a halt at the open. There's always a halt possibility with the stock. If it looks like it's going into a halt off the open, only to the upside, I'd look for that little breakout halt long and then just sort of see what happens. And if we get caught up in a halt fest, then we'll play it step by step. But I like the 21 long. That was just that late afternoon dip that you saw at about 4:30. And then from there, just look to find the trend on GameStop. And if there's that early halt, like we said, we'll get into it. That saying, I don't expect it to do something like 4 or 5 crazy halts to the upside. I feel like it should be a little bit more tempered than last time.
Yeah, just another reason. We said what was going to be the next reason for this to get going, and there it is. So, now you actually get something that is affecting the stock price itself, not just like, let's just pile into something. This is, again, an offering done well. Yeah, that's about all we can say right here. Look at the stock starting to continue to go higher here. I mean, it was just $23. We talked about this a second ago. We said we're going to be here to trade this. What about a pre-market break? What about break rate now of 24.30s? I mean, I don't think you need to be piling in here with tons of shares in the pre-market or even off the open, but there's going to be tons of opportunity today for this name. I mean, if you can get a dip buy into 23, that would be pretty sweet, right? But no, I'm looking for, honestly, dips into 23 at this point is great. Let's see if we can hold the pre-market. And then after that, I mean, the last time we started to get going, it was very, very similar. And you're not even going back that far. This is 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, we were at $22. So that's what it is right now. It's May 28th. This is May 13th. All right, we proceeded then to get to 26, 28, 30s, up to $38, hung out a little bit after that. Then it was giddy up that very next day on the 14th, and boom, upside after that. And then, you know, the chart doesn't lie. So I think you're getting ready again here. I mean, who's going to stop this move? Let's wait to see. I'm not sure, and I think they'll let it go. So right here, 25, a good level, maybe take some profit, but there's that gap fill off open, and there's a fill higher to 36. So I think, honestly, I'm not in it right now, and I don't own any shares, so this is not me saying this, but I think you could go up 100% today. I think you can get to $50 on GameStop. So let's see what winds up happening. Let's play some halts and any dip buys. I think it's definitely worth doing it on what could be a very, very calm day. The Nasdaq's only up 0.2%, and you have NVIDIA up 3%. That tells you everything else is doing pretty much nothing. Apple, we already have that. We're going to talk about all these in a minute. So I think the look has to be at AMC and at GameStop, and it has to be there quite often and early.
Bit of an uptick there right now for AMC, back to 5% on the morning as well. 192.80 meanwhile coming into play here for Apple on a bit of a pullback here, well off the highs. But if you missed it this morning, reports suggesting China sales of the iPhone increased 52% in April on a year-over-year basis. That's a big number.
Really nice move there. It does continue to look at, China's definitely been something people have been looking at with regards to Apple and those sales. Interesting as well. So the reports came from a China-affiliated data research firm. Worth noting as well, though, so they didn't specify the company, but Apple is the top foreign phone maker in China. So basically looking like Apple is maybe trying to get a bit of a leg up here again after some weakness with Huawei and other regional phone retailers. 52% year-over-year increase for shipments for April. So nice look there.
Don't look now. We are, what is this? Less than $10, guys, from all-time highs here for Apple.
I believe $7 away which is, you know, it's less than 4%, obviously. Probably not going to happen today, but this week is certainly possible for Apple. Can't hate on positive China data. That said, we get good data, we get bad data, we're all over the place. We are pulling back in here on Apple. 191.5 looks like the first support level to be tested. Love what's going on with the trend. Just the last couple of times that it's gapped up, if you looked at it on these gaps when it kind of breaks through levels, dipped, didn't quite get to the previous high. I think we're pretty much already there, so that's why I like 191.5. 190 is sort of obvious, but if we go back to flat on the day, if it gets that bearish, that's almost like, I think it's going to be a crowded trade, but got to be there anyways. So if the market ends up weak, Apple trying to go red to green is going to be another defend level for me. So I'm only looking for longs on Apple today. Now, obviously, there's a couple of other names. I'm not really on the rundown, but if you look at a chart, pull up a chart of Meta and see it at the 50 period, and that's actually rejecting the 50 period on Meta right now, whereas Apple's a stock that's like breaking out and has a positive catalyst. So do prefer the longs in here. 191.5 and 191 are the dip levels for me today on Apple.
Yeah, Apple's the #1 trade idea here. It'll be the one that I have the most shares on, hopefully, and it's going to be bought up. So we're going to buy Apple on any of these dips. Its all-time high is 199.62, as we've been talking about. So that's going to come into play at some point, and it won't be today. It won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be when that Worldwide Developer Conference hits. That's when you'll probably break through that 200 level. But we've been buying this thing since down here. So these were great support levels. It gave you this trade from March all the way to May. So Apple did nothing for 3 months, March, April, May, yeah, good enough. 2.5, 3 months into here, did nothing, and now it's starting to do something. And it's going to take out these highs. So that's 199.62. Look out for that kind of a level. Again, not today, but what a surprise. China iPhone sales upside. I mean, this has really been the best way to trade Apple is just wait for negative news out of China, let it sell off, and then just buy it, and then eventually you'll get the real numbers. So that's all that you have to do. You have to be patient with Apple. And today we'll try to be patient, but we may have to just blast this straight off the open. I have the same levels, 190, 150, 192, but honestly, I mean, the market isn't going to do that much. I think a lot of attention will be just in a few names today, and Apple's going to be one of them. So Apple up 1.5%, definitely worth looking at, and is the #1 trade idea here today on the sticky note.
All right, let's talk some semiconductors. NVIDIA leading the way once again this morning, coming off a huge move last week, following just an absolute monster report. There's 1100 is right here. Tested it once very, very early on. Looking like it might want to roll over here before we get there for a second time. 10-for-1 split coming, $1,100. I mean, there's all kinds of positive analyst moves again this morning.
Yeah, there's also a note here from the information with regards to Elon Musk's XAI. Apparently, they're saying, and this has been said in the past, that Elon Musk and XAI are looking to have 100,000 NVIDIA H100 chips for this cluster for their supercomputer. So certainly not a bad look or a bad catalyst for NVDA, in addition to all of that post-earnings strength and that 10-for-1 split. Really nice look there heading into the day.
Yeah, Grok getting a little bit of an upgrade apparently for XAI there. 1100, guys, what do we do here today with NVIDIA?
Well, if Grok needs an upgrade, then you know exactly who's going to get benefit from that. It's like everybody else. There's only one store in town. Okay, maybe there's more than one, but there's only one that anybody's going to, and that's NVIDIA. So, like, obviously 1100 is going to be the big round number that everyone's interested in today. There's pretty much no question about it. It's up that 3 points. I think usually in a situation like this, I'm like, yeah, okay, I like dips back into any kind of a previous double top and a previous high. Of course, why wouldn't I like a dip into 1065? Can it drop $30 at the open? What ends up happening is you start asking yourself, well, can it drop $30 and do I like it? But it's a $1,000 stock. You have to try to remember, it kind of did that on Friday. Like, it did do a pullback at the open before rallying. Like, this is down into 1030 when it was trading at about 1050. So the notion that it could pull back and actually retest in here is very reasonable. That puts 10 in here, that high is actually more like 1067. So it puts like 1070 into play and puts 1085 into play, both of those levels on NVIDIA. You just start having to think about when those opening ranges are wild, they are going to notionally be big. Well, not notionally, they're going to be big in terms of dollars. So you can expect when it does a pullback of $20, $25, $30, you can still catch a bid on NVIDIA, and it's not exactly things falling apart. So when you look at that high from Friday, I think that's perfectly reasonable that you could see a bounce off to 1070 before getting to an $1,100 break. It's been dip and rip a few times on NVIDIA off the open.
All right. I'm just adding Tesla here to the sticky note. All right, and it's going to be on in a second. So, yeah, NVDA, that's what it is, right there. Okay, so look, I mean, this name's not going to stop. So if you want to trade it, look at this. Monster move, 950 to 1100. Like, it's just going to keep going up. So I wouldn't be shorting this at any sort of a time. We've been playing pullbacks into VWAP a lot lately. It's been fantastic. This has been the #2 stock for me the last couple days, and I haven't traded it till 2 o'clock. So let NVIDIA settle down. A stock that we absolutely nailed to the ground or to the wall or wherever, ceiling, nailed it anywhere you wanted to. AMD on Friday. I mean, the fact that it just was rallying all day. You know, we called this day that it was going to be comeback season off 160. That's exactly what happened there on AMD. So we're calling it again. 166. This is going to be hopefully the trade of the day, because this is going to come in, I hope, down into 166. You should get some NVIDIA sort of wildness off the open. I like AMD 166. To me, this is that dream position if you can get it. I mean, it could turn out to be a nightmare, which is why you can get out at this 50 area. But I like AMD dip buys. We had it on Friday. A lot of you had it there. It was on the sticky note. Unfortunately, we were in Apple, which turned out to be a $2 or $3 winner as well. But AMD definitely got that juice on Friday, and I think it can get loose again. So 166 and change back to the desk.
All right, let's talk about sports betting here, specifically DraftKings downside to the tune of 7%. Illinois passing a new budget that will include significant tax hike, or potentially, anyways, a significant tax hike for companies like DraftKings. 6.8% right now. It did bounce off 38, trying to hold right now. I mean, you were just saying potentially 40% on the highest tier here for companies participating in this. But again, it's just the state of Illinois. So is Illinois 7% of DraftKings total business?
Yeah, it is worth noting this is just in the state of Illinois, but this bill is actually set to make Illinois the second most expensive state for wagers to do business in. So this is not apparently even the most restrictive. This is set to make it the second most expensive state, and companies that do have the highest adjusted gross revenue would, according to this bill, be subjected to a 40% tax. So this could be pretty steep for annual gross revenue if you are one of those companies that has is on the higher end of that. So interesting look there for DKNG to the downside today.
Yeah, I mean, starting to bounce here already, guys, back above that 38, as I mentioned.
I mean, like, so one state's going to up taxes and none are going to follow. You feel like that's going to be pressure, and it's probably going to start to come from other places as well. The good news for DraftKings today would be it's already bounced off the 200-period moving average, the simple on the daily. So when this gap down, you're going to see it get right into 37 and then bounce right off of that level. So it's doing already a bit of a correction. It's light volume, as it always is. If it's going to go 10% down to be SSR, would have had to have been a break of 37. I loved that notion. I actually put it on my note thinking there was a chance. You break 37, 36, 70 or something like that would have been the SSR bounce, and I would have looked for a long back through. Unfortunately, well, maybe not unfortunately if you're a shareholder because it's up $1, we're not that close to the level. So got to be patient. If we're going to get a bounce off 37, then it's going to have to do some kind of a big drop off the open. If you look at the 15 or the daily chart, you can see the last line of defense had been that 39 to 40 area. I think if it comes back in there at the short, so above 39 and into the 40 level would be a short for me. I thought I'd come in here thinking bounce off the 200-period moving average, but we're just as close to resistance as we are to support. So I'm open to shorting this one now on a pop on DraftKings. I don't see, I mean, if it goes green today, that's like $41, so it's not a red to green story. It's just previous support turning into resistance on DraftKings. I don't think this is dead. You're probably going to hear other jurisdictions do things similar. They tend to follow each other. Like if one state's able to raise more money in a certain manner, others typically are going to follow suit.
Look, I find this hilarious that it's down this much right now, but I mean, it is on the sticky note today, and it is a short. Gambling, unfortunately, is an addiction. And do you think that people care that they're going to have to pay more taxes? They don't. Gambling's not going to stop. It's just going to get bigger and better. I think it's a buy the dip situation, but I did write down here $39.50 or so for a short there in DraftKings, because I do think that states continue to follow with that move. So I think it's going to get worse, and if they don't like it now, I got to put this down so I can get these tickers down here. If they don't like it now, they're not going to like it later. So I just don't think, for me, it's like, whatever. I didn't, like, when you deposit money into the account, I don't think, oh my God, if I win, I have to pay this tax. People just bet anyways. It's going to change. You're going to move from state to state. Possibly if you're a huge gambler, you'll find your ways around them. And potentially this goes back to the black market where, again, if you're now gambling with DraftKings, you're going to have to pay whatever the tax rate's going to be, or you just call, Big Stevie there on the block, and he'll take your bet, and you won't have to pay any tax at all. You may just have to lose a finger or two if something goes wrong. But $38, look, I think there's room to go to the downside. I've sold DraftKings, and I sold it in and around this level. So we missed the move all the way to the upside, but now it's pulling back. I do not think it's a buy at, in and around here. I think you can get it down to 32. You can even get lower than that. So take advantage of this move. Wait for dip buy opportunities. But for me, I'm buying DraftKings on weakness. I like the stock.
All right, let's go to, well, two things. First off, I just saw this one pop up. TXN, Texas Instrument, up on a note from CNBC, $2.5 billion stake from Elliott Management. So this is a weekly chart of TXN. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row here on a weekly chart, straight to the upside. Gapping up here this morning to 206. Again, Elliott Management taking a $2.5 billion stake in TXN, urging the company to improve their free cash flow situation. I guess they've been propping this thing up over the past couple of weeks. But yeah, let's talk DELL, because that's another chart that's just been absolutely straight higher. This is a 15-minute chart, but if you zoom out, you kind of get the picture here. It's just straight to the upside for DELL. Gapping up again this morning on more AI positivity.
And definitely not a bad look for DELL, either on the chart or just in terms of what we're hearing here. We did get an analyst upgrade from Morgan Stanley a couple weeks ago, calling it a top pick heading into these earnings. Their earnings last quarter were also pretty impressive. They did have a 15% gap up, so not at all a bad look for DELL heading into today. We also had, again, that benefit from those NVIDIA earnings propping up DELL a little bit as well here. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do. They report after market close on Thursday. So this could be a really interesting report, especially with the massive run-up we've had going into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's trying to test the highs, pre-market highs right now as we speak. Here goes DELL, guys, 5% now.
Shout out to Q Emotionally Damaged for the more Cowdell reference. I'm down with that. It'd be nice if we could actually ring a bell. I don't have like a graphic that's like a ringing bell that I can sound off for you for that one, but I like it. And the daily chart for this is, it's gorgeous. I mean, what else do you want? Remember we said we'd be looking at a lot of charts that look like this today, where you're getting some fresh highs in there. Qualcomm was already one. Now you got DELL up another 5%. It's been absolutely relentless the last couple of days. It is worth noting, though, like there had been some pretty key price areas. Like I don't know if 170 is going to turn into that, but if you looked at on Thursday when some things were weak, like everything was weak except for NVIDIA, like you had that kind of rejection of the 160, then it broke it out and closed at 160. So I don't wonder if you don't get the similar thing here, like this little top in the afternoon Friday, or early afternoon was 166. So you wonder if that's just going to be your way to get into the stock. The 166 level on DELL. Chasing highs, I don't want to be chasing any tops today. I feel like it's going to be a safer thing to go dip buy hunting, and then promise we add some ideas to look for some shorts. We still have like 8 minutes to go, which is great because there's a heck of a lot of opportunities in there, I think in both directions. But one of them is going to be Tesla. So Tesla had a good Friday. Nothing bad about it. We've already talked about the Elon pay package and all that good stuff, and whether you consider the back and forth to be a catalyst for the stock, it doesn't really matter. The longs have been off the 50 period on the daily, and if it's not down there, then I'm not looking long. Right? Like it's down 170 to 171. Like 73 has been a good level as well. That's where you want the long on Tesla, because that's, the daily chart's showing you that. Your 15 minutes going to confirm it as well. That 180 where things absolutely fell apart on Thursday, it was also the Wednesday close, was an easy top on Friday. I'm looking short back into that level. 178 is kind of a maybe zone for me. I don't want to be sitting short. I want this to be breaking and giving a short into the 180 level there on Tesla. It's already weak relative to the market, down 1% into a quarter up. So I think this is a name that's still in the midst of a long-term downtrend. It's still holding the downtrend from last week. I like Tesla in the long term. In the long run, I think it's absolutely fine, at least in my estimation, but it's not quite out of that penalty box. And that 200 that we keep talking about, it's still got a chance, but I thought Apple got there first just because Apple was A, stronger, B, the AI, and then of course you had the developer event coming up, and Apple holding this 1.5% into the upside as well. So it looks like it's going to be a good day for most of tech, but I still feel like Tesla's got to be in the other way. I just don't see myself trading DELL, not when there's too many other things to look at. We've already talked about the chip names. We've got GameStop, we've got Apple, Tesla, and then just to give you guys, on that Bitfarm note, so there is now a tweet saying it's a $2.30 offer from Riot for Bitfarm. but it's an unsolicited offer. It's not accepted by the board, so there's no firm deal or anything like that, but they do have an unsolicited offer for $2.30. It's dual listed, but I mean, anyone's gonna be trading Bitfarm in the NASDAQ, I would assume, and I'm gonna be looking for longs, hopefully like dipping back into like the 210 level. I think it's probably more of a scalp trade, like you're getting out for a few cents at a time. If the deal firms up and it is $2.30, I can't see a heck of a big reason why it would trade above, but there is an 8% short float. Crazier things have happened. This is more of a scalp trade than anything else. You're not up 10% looking for 20% in this case, especially if the offer is in fact accepted at $2.30.
I'm just looking here. I mean, Dell is off, man, off to the races. By the way, NVIDIA just broke 1100 pretty cleanly right there as well. It is not stopping. I mean, that just broke it and ripped. I mean, again, it's tough for me to look at this stock because, you know, like $3 means a lot for me because even if you just hit that with 100 shares, like that's $300 in 1 minute. You know, and I would hit that with 300. Well, 300 shares, definitely not in the pre-market, but you know, if you hit that with 100 shares, I would say I was gonna definitely take that $300. You know, we just got back up into some of these dark pool prints right here at 8 o'clock, so I would be careful with some of those, but it looks like you're taking out 105 and going higher. Now remember, the NASDAQ imbalances are now out, so they come out at 925. So that's probably sparked it. Apple with a sell there, so Apple heading the other way, fine, perfect, done, that's what I want. And then AMD, yeah, right there. So that's got a boost up there as well. So couple of the ideas that we were looking at here off of this, one helps it because the Apple short, the Apple move down, it helps me get into that long, so that little sell, hopefully we can get a little bit lower on that. Amazon and AMD a buy, upside there to 169, and then I just saw Amazon on here.
It just broke support.
Okay, so Amazon was a sell then, yeah.
Had to be.
I don't know, it was on here, but whatever, I don't see it anymore, but either way, there goes Amazon. I believe it was a sell, so nice move to the downside there for AMZN. So some of these names now starting to fall apart a bit. Remember, I was feeling a little bit bearish, and that's because we were underneath VWAP. So I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. We'll probably trade a lot of the TQQs today again. We've been doing well on the futures, so we'll probably stick there. I really love Amazon on dip buys, and it's been doing really poorly, I guess, on the daily chart, but not dramatically bad, but just like down 8 of the last 9 days or something like that on Amazon. So it looks like there's 2 green days in there, 7 of the last 9 days, something like that, maybe more on Amazon. So this name is definitely one that's in the penalty box. Do we have to still go back? Okay, let's go back.
A couple things, yeah, PayPal, I saw a couple people mentioning this, PayPal up on the launch of an ad business, so they're going to use the tracking data they've collected in regards to payments that they process to launch targeted ads. So PayPal up 2%. Neil, you were just asking about that INSM. There was a positive late stage or positive data from a late stage lung disease trial that came through on that one.
That INSM, first off, like that is a decent chance for a halt possibly today with the gap as big as it is. So the spread is almost $1 sometimes, but 50 cents right now with only 2 minutes to go till the open. It's a wide spread. On a normal day, maybe it'd be on the radar, but not on a GameStop day because at the open, if GameStop's gonna take it out at the top, this is now 24, ignore these dark pool wicks, your high is like 24.30 on GameStop. If it's going to take it out right at the open, I think this is a chance to halt with like the 21 level as well, going back into GameStop. You will probably see me in and out of BITF from time to time. We've already talked about that one. But GME off the open in about 90 seconds or so. Tesla, we talked about that one, looking for a south side play on Tesla. I guess it must have come out of sell imbalance. Tesla was just $1 higher a second ago. I didn't see that on the sell imbalance.
The same thing with Apple. I mean, Apple dropped $1. I don't know.
Okay. No, yeah, they're not. There's no imbalances there. Not on Tesla, anyways.
All right, so we just got long on Apple. I mean, we tried to get some longer down here at 191. We put down on our order that this is where we like the stock. So we'll go small right now on Apple just because of this pre-market move to the downside. But it is just one of those names that is continuing southbound. We talked about Amazon. That got hit a little bit there. And Neil just mentioned, and I see in the chat there, Tesla as well, some concerns here. I was looking at 174 for Tesla. So I think if we get down into those areas, we definitely want to make sure that we have a look there as well. So I'm just making sure I log in and get everything ready to go. GME, just a quick little look as well here. We have less than 30 seconds to go right now.
So there's a dramatic pause. That was
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? You gotta do more than just trading around here sometimes. There it is. So we are now long on Apple even more right now. So okay,
here we go.
Early position. Here we go. To my guy Sharif there. Enjoy the day off. But we now are in that 10-second realm of chaoticness. So here we go. What's up, Adara? Get ready to ring that register in just 3, 2, and 1, and welcome to what is not Manic Monday. And I believe I put on the sticky note something about it being Monday. Okay, here we go. Here's Apple right now to the upside, 191 and change. Falling back in, trying to get a base. We're long Apple early.
Yeah, Apple looking like it's making a dip. GME, no move just yet. Still not open on GameStop. I'm on the bid of Apple, but GameStop not really open. Okay, I just got into Apple. You want that first print from the NYSE, and it looks like we're headed to the downside on GameStop here. So trading down through 23. I'm going to cancel my breakout because that is not really going. We had mentioned Tesla was headed down right off the bat. Canceling offer on Tesla at 179 because it's at 175 already. So Tesla getting smoked a little bit here off of the open. We'll have to wait for a short to pop in there. And then NVDA, that's right back underneath the 1100 level, but we still have a chance of that dip. Remember 930, there's been dip and rip situation on NVIDIA in the past. Still waiting for that first portion, which would be the dip trade. GameStop doesn't look like it wants to go to the upside. Oh, I might have missed a chance to get into BITF. It's got a good level here. A good level at 15s to maybe work off of for Bitfarm.
All right, we're going to see if we can just keep having Apple just settle down a little bit here and let it settle down just a bit. GameStop is dropping into $22. So again, what could have been something doesn't appear to be anything right now as you fall back in on GME right now. So just again, I don't think you need to be too careful with this stock. It's not lots of liquidity. Obviously, it's starting to head to the downside now as traders come in and take profit off of a 20% plus gain. But maybe a breakthrough of $23. Let's put it by if we break $23 here on GameStop and just play. I'd rather play the momentum long than anything else. So let's not play dips right now. Let's play momentum back to the upside and take a 23 bid
11-11
right now. Yeah, NVIDIA's off.
11-10.
Yeah,
AMD
is 169. So it looks like it's just NVIDIA doing the heavy lifting right now in the semis. Maybe a possible short in SMH then if it's just going to be one name running. But NVIDIA up, and away she goes.
Yeah, DraftKings starting to pull back in. It'll get to 10% down if it hits like 36.70 or so. So that 37 level, I think, has a chance to come into play. Tesla's just still, Tesla's still getting spanked here. There just hasn't even been a bid on this thing. So I don't even think, like at this point, we said we're going to be patient with it. Why do I have 2 offers?
AMD's trying to come in a bit.
On Apple. So Apple trying to get back above 191.5. I'm going to throw an offer in front of the 90 level as well. So if we bounce back into 192, we want to take another leg out there. GME continues to fall, but wow, it is, it's NVIDIA that's stealing the show here. At 11, I said 11.11. It's like 11.10.73 current highs on NVIDIA as this one continues to fly. Yeah, we thought there'd be a dip and rip on this one. The only problem with that is there was no dip whatsoever.
No, there was not.
Oh my goodness, Coinbase 240.
Oh my God. So right now we are running Apple. We just got to get some out. Yes, we have 3 fills there on Apple. We're long at 191.30s. This is a monster trade. Again, it's 35 cents in the money. It's Apple, and we are really starting to go. What's up, Adara?
In addition to NVIDIA, there's another semiconductor falling back a little bit here, but some upside, and that's going to be Micron. MU up just shy of 2% right now, though it is falling off a little bit here. Worth noting with regards to Micron, a Japanese newspaper yesterday reported that Micron is looking to invest a significant amount of yen in an advanced DRAM facility in Hiroshima. So nice look for MU, guys.
Yeah, good look
All
there.
right, good luck. Yeah, we're not, so we can't really hear what Adara's saying. So I apologize.
Yeah,
for that.
sorry guys. It's just, they have to yell really loud because we don't have our earpieces on for Unity. I was trying to quickly yell out that, not GameStop, Coinbase was breaking out. I keep looking over at GameStop, hoping something will actually happen positively there. But Coinbase just broke the 240 level. It's a triple top
Apple
from
is
last
huge,
week
man.
as it's
Oh my
continuing to rally to the upside. BTC is only at 68. Here. So I will look for a trend. If it can hold 239, I think it's going to be nasty. I just took some out in front of 192 in Apple as that continues to go into the upside. But Coinbase has to be added to this. And I was in and out of Bitfarm. I'm going to look for the 210 level next. But I want to see VWAP hold on Coinbase before I got involved in that one. The other thing it's kind of going crazy, well, okay, never mind. I mean, obviously it's a story of NVIDIA to the upside, but AMD just pulled back $2 here while NVIDIA is at the high of the day. So you're getting that weird divergence again, and it's right into yesterday's top. This is one of those, if it's rejecting the highs and we're going down when NVIDIA is going up, I don't want to sit on the falling knife this time on AMD. I might take 1 or 2 shots at it, but it's going to be really tight stops, and if it's not holding higher lows or holding the same level, I don't want to fight this sucker.
All right, here it is right here. We talked about a completely different style of trading. And for me, it's just take the best trades. I said even before we sat down, Apple was going to be the #1 trade for me today. And that's exactly the only thing that we've been looking at. So we have Apple long, we have it at the very bottom, and now we're just starting to take pieces out as it goes back up to the upside. So we'll just go bang on that one, and we'll see if we can get $1 clean right away. It pretty much, there it is right there. I know Neil has it a little bit of a better price right there. Put it on the board. There's your first trade of the day for me. It's a $1 winner, and it just goes upside. And we put on some shares. So again, pretty happy with the performance right now on this one. I kind of agree with AMD, but potentially should have bought it there. It went down into the 200 period moving average, but a little bit too early. 936 right now coming into play for AMD. It's still a little early in the day, so I'm going to wait for that 166 level that we really thought we liked. So that's going to be a level there for that. We could quickly check out on Tesla just to see what's happening here. So Tesla's at our 174 level. So again, I'm getting those AMD moments again here because we're feeling, okay, we'll go to it in a second. We are feeling like Tesla is at a level that we do like. We did this on AMD and I didn't take it. Is it time to do it on Tesla right now? 173 and change bottom. But bad news about Tesla, down 3%. What's up, A?
And let's look here for LIDR. This is AI is the name of the company. We do have this nice pop-up here, about 21% to the upside. As you can see in the daily chart, this one has run in the past. We had a 1 for 30 reverse split going back at the end of the year. Currently up, not seeing any news, but 17.5% short float. They reported earnings a couple weeks ago. LIDR, guys.
Are there. DraftKings went 10% to the downside just now. So it just wicked 36, 64, whatever. It was like 70 or something that was SSR. On the way back to the upside, I just grabbed 83s. I think VWAP is going to be in play here. So I keep saying GameStop. It's wild. Like I have GameStop on my mind way too much this morning. But DraftKings looking for the push back into VWAP here as it's now gone short sell restricted. So I should take some on the offer for the first move here in front of 37. We're going to get some 37.25s, and then 37.5 would be that target here. Bounce off VWAP. So SSR bounce here on DraftKings as we'll try to ring the register on this bad boy. Remember, bad news with the state of Illinois as well. Unfortunately, I think it's not good news for them necessarily in the long term, but bounce because it went 10% down.
All right, good trade there. Fire off the hot dog cannons again because there it is on Tesla. Now we're 50 cents. So by the way, we're $1.30 in the money on Apple, and we're 50 cents in the money on Tesla. And it's been such a good morning again for us here. And like I said, remember I said about how, you know, like we were stuck in traffic. It didn't even get a chance to do like our proper preparation. But the thing is that you know what you know. And I mean, we had been hitting Tesla for a while. We've been hitting, obviously, Apple. I sat down here and said, you know what's going to be the #1 trade of the day before the day even started? Apple. And there it is right now. I mean, hopefully the guys behind us have this trade as well. Now $1.70 in the money off Apple. I mean, it dipped in. We took it in the pre-market. We like that trade. So there it is right here. It's a big one. It is on your sticky note. So there it is now. Did you forget about Dre? All right. Nowadays, everybody want to talk.
They got something to say.
Sometimes they got something to say, but
Nothing comes out when they move the lips, just a bunch of gibberish, and everybody asks if forgot about Dre.
That's
and I'm
right.
also trailing out of Apple right here. I'm going to give you the reason why in a quick little second. It's station to station, 191 into 193. So this was yesterday's, sorry, check that. This was last week's high. I almost said yesterday's. Last week's high. So dips into 91, holds on to this high. If there's another long, it's either off the same level or we're trending above 193, or we're looking at VWAP in there. So first long, bounce off a bottom, get some out there, get it all out in front of 193. If we hold 193, we look long over, or we look for a VWAP dip. DraftKings is almost at target. I'm actually noticing GameStop is catching a bid here. So it's not $21 where I liked it, but it is getting pretty strong off the bottom here back through 22. So instead of waiting around for 21 even, if we hold a higher low on GameStop, I'm going to look for a bounce play off 22 into this local bottom, which is at like 21.65. So GME trying to hold up. It's only 16% up. This thing was up like 25% in the pre-market. Now we're only 16. So it needs to put up a higher low, or we just end up waiting for that 21 level. DraftKings did get into VWAP there, just barely wicking it. I'm going to hold. I've already taken some out in front of VWAP. If we get a higher low at 37, I'll look for a punch through into 38 as well. So just in DraftKings left, as now NVIDIA is up 5%.
all right, we are.
Of course it is.
We're here, guys, and this is exactly what we're trying to do. You know, this has been a big day, and like, you know, you just got to sit down, chip in a chair. All right, Alibaba, Amazon. I mean, Amazon's on a little bit of a heater right now as well, going back up to the upside. We just got 193s on Apple for $1.50 there on AAPL. We got 192.95 there, something like that. So big trade alert over there for sure. You guys can see that. All right, so Amazon just went on a run there. I don't really know what was up with that, but it sure did. And we were thinking a little bit bearish on this name as well. So, and we, you know, like I said, I love the name here with Amazon, but I'm going to start to short a little bit against that top wick that we were just put in right there. And I'm taking this against myself here, by the way, as you guys can see that. So this could be a mistake for sure. Downside there, got going. So let's not average in too much more. That's 180.130. I don't really have too much more to talk about other than let's try Amazon now. We don't want to try to give everything back. I mean, Tesla right now, we have we've done 2 trades today, both of them Dollar Club members. So we'll wait to see if Tesla could just tick up a little bit higher than that. But right now, our newest position, in trouble a little bit, Amazon, as it's starting to go a little upside here against us. We just tried to take a few more shares there at 11s and 15s. Looks like we missed it for now. We still should get that fill, I hope. If not, come back in, baby. We're short right now at 93. So I'm pretty okay with these positions. But for right now, Amazon short against 181.50.
Oh my goodness, GameStop does not hold on to that lower high at all, or higher low, I should say. It just broke the bottoms. It looks like 21 is going to be incoming. So the $21 support level, it was just aftermarket on Friday that it bounced off that level. We're going to look for the long off of that. DraftKings looking to double bottom as well. Might get a reload there. First things first, Apple is at VWAP and trying to hold on. The market just took out the lows. Again, but I'm going to get this VWAP on Apple in here. So 192.20 we like here on Apple. We're going to get involved in that one. And then DraftKings right back into that same bottom, looking for a double bottom here on DraftKings.
3 for 3 right now. Adara.
Pineapple Energy continuing to move to the upside over the last few days. You can see at the bottom of this daily chart here. Right now, up over 125%. This one is a penny stock. It does have a catalyst, though. After market close on Friday, announced that its Sun Nation subsidiary did sign for a 1.95 megawatt project. So project update for PEGY to the upside, guys.
We are in the building here today, man. Thankfully, maybe we'll just be stuck in traffic every day. That might be our secret right here. Amazon, 50 cents now. Look at Amazon starting to go to the downside. Apple, we're almost out of it. Took all of that. We just got out of Tesla up here as well. Like, this day is just, honestly, I mean, it's going to be one of these kind of days right here early, and we were late 45 minutes today. We'll put the trophy on the desk, and we'll sit here and wait to see what happens, man. It's Amazon, 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 Amazon. I love this trade because we talked about wanting to get short on something. All right, we found Amazon. I was like, Amazon's ripping up here. We indicated it earlier on that it's had a bad little run here. It went for a little bit of a jog. We took advantage of it, so let's take some more out. There it is, 42s out. Top of the day, back into the 50-period moving average. We will take that. Man, we are mooning here today. We got to check out some of these other names, but this has been quite the morning. Congratulations, everybody who has anything like this, because so far so good here. Apple $1, Amazon 70 cents, Tesla $1. It's all been good, and hey, it's just another Tuesday, so you never know what's going to happen. Saudi Aramco sales plan apparently happening.
Yeah, I saw that Saudi Aramco. I'm out of Apple. I'm looking short in AMD. After what we saw already, like the way this market's starting to head down, if we just did not hold on to pre-market lows, we said we wait for that. Ooh. Now if it comes back in, I'm looking to short that same level. And the other one that we're going to like here, we already talked about. I'll get to BITF. I'm in and out of that one, although I guess it's not showing. Okay. They're not showing trades on BITF for some reason. That's fine. I'm in that one in the long on the NASDAQ. But Intel rejected 31 even. So new entrant. If the market's heading lower, rejected a double top. I want to short pops back into VWAP on that as well. But Apple not holding on to that 192. That's headed right back into the downside. GameStop is now holding at the bottom. So it bounced off 2130. I'm looking long off of this bottom level on GameStop for the first time. 21 was the level that we liked over here on GME. So we're looking to get on the bid. Just got filled at 50s, and we'll go long in front of the current low.
Oh, man. Man, now we've got some like fresh fruit up in the building back there. Oh, no. So we've taken 3 trades today, Patrick. Every single trade now has touched $1 or more in the money. That's going to be 3 for 3 there today. And there it is. We're just, cheers. I mean, all right, here comes Amazon. Let's just get a piece out at 180. I mean, I don't know, maybe we're getting out a little too early. I mean, we talked about that. The trade that we liked up here was 181 short. We tried to get more. Missed it. There it goes, man. We are almost out of Tesla. Tesla has still have 20%. But, I mean, our out is 173. So it looks like we will give back our first out if it does break lower than this. I'm not really feeling the longs anymore. So, yeah, about that. We may just wind up getting out of everything. Apple, if it falls back into 31s, 91s, maybe we'll get out of that one right now. But we already have. Wow. Andy. I thought Apple was going to be the trade of the day. And then Amazon all of a sudden dropped into our lap. So this is what we're doing, man. If this is not trading, then I don't know what is. 1 in on Amazon, 1 in on Apple, right? 1 in on Tesla. I mean, this is it. We're trying to do better. We're trying to hold for a little bit longer. I think we might have found the magic sauce right here. All right, I'm going to take another piece out on Amazon, and then we'll work from there. What's up, Adara?
Couple updates here. For one, so just to clarify that Saudi Aramco story mentioned earlier. So Saudi Arabia is apparently set to announce that Aramco stock sale is planned as a plan for the Aramco stock sale as soon as this week, according to the Wall Street Journal. And they're set to raise $10 billion to $20 billion in this fresh sale. Also, keep an eye on Virgin Galactic here as well. SPCE up about 20%. Not seeing any news on this, but they are cracking above that $1 mark. Short float of about 25.5%. So SPCE and Saudi Aramco on watch, guys.
Oh, man.
All right, here comes a bit of a pop in AMD. If it gets to VWAP, I think this is going to be a fade. Obviously, this has been a weak one. GameStop does not hold on to the bottom, so we wait for the dip buy on GME. We get into it first time, and it just took out the low. So we'll take another shot maybe at the 21 level, but this is still going to be trend into the downside. Apple's right back at those lows. This is where we bought it the first time through. Has to hold on to this level, or we're waiting for 190 on Apple, still falling with the rest of the market, everything going down, with the exception of NVIDIA. Like NVIDIA is holding up pretty nicely. I did just mention Intel now at VWAP here. So I like the 31 short on Intel. Once we get into the 90s, going to be taking that. I am in and out of BITF if you're just joining now. They got an unsolicited offer for $2.30 from Riot. Riot blockchain. So doing some scalping. When it makes a bottom, just getting in and out of this one. I'm not actually short. It's just those. I have a bunch of offers out, so it'll code some of my sells as purple, but I'm just getting in and out. I haven't taken a short on this.
All right, we tried a little bit more of Apple here, so we'll give back. We'll give back about 20%, especially if this doesn't hold. We're going to get out about 10 more cents, so a little bit of a break lower. There it is, not even 10 cents, my bad. We got out at 85 break. So we'll give back about 20% there of our Apple trade, just trying to go long 191 and trying to catch that knife. But that's a falling one for sure. So again, number one P&L stock by far. Well, it's Amazon now, but it was Apple easily, as Tesla's trying to hold out for it. We only have 3 trades on board so far. So let's go back over and look at GameStop and see if this one's doing anything. Down here at 21.50, maybe we are finding a bottom now on GameStop. I mean, there's a possibility here. That is a 200 period moving average all the way down there at 21, basically. So I don't mind that. I think you could catch some bids here off of 21 and change. I do have that break long on it at $23, but I guess that's not necessarily coming in right yet. So let's just punch long right now. We're long right now against $21 on GameStop. So again, fortune favors the bold, not the stupid. Let's see if we can make a better play here just by watching out GameStop, trying to play some bottoms right there. We are now long on GameStop, 59s. So we'll get a piece out if we can at 22, and then we say when moon, because we'll be there for that. So far, 3 for 3. If we take this out, it would be 4 for 4, but let's get going a little bit here on GameStop upside with Apple still cranking lower.
Yeah, Apple's now at the $0.50, so 190's incoming pretty quickly. We said sit it out. I'm sitting it out until that next level. We'll see if we can grab them. Sitting at about 10s, like 190, 10 or 12. Whichever one we happen to put in there. I just jumped into Intel in front of the 31 level, and AMD popping into VWAP. It's getting pretty darn close. So Friday's high, 167.70, VWAP at 167. That's the target area looking for the fade in AMD. If this is the bottom at 165, it's already got there once. I feel like I could have had this, but I was feeling the shorts a little bit better. If we double bottom there, I have no issues with an AMD scalp trade back into VWAP. On that one. So let's get back on over to Apple. I think that's going to be the next one to come and play at the 190 level, as Superman is still in the building.
Yeah, what's up, Superman? It's always nice to have a wingman. This guy's too much over here. What's up, Randy? All right, so here we go, man. I mean, look at Amazon. Look at Amazon right now at $1.20. I know we like Amazon. I mean, we've probably got a couple packages being delivered today, but there's Amazon right now delivering profits downside for us there. AMZN, again, the profit is what the profit is. And look at this play. Oh my gosh, right here, that is Tesla. Now, I remember I misspoke before when it was $1 in the money. We're now $2 right now in the money on Tesla. So this name working out pretty good here as we look to make some more profit as Tesla. Now $1 and $2 giving you of profit here because this one is a monster. It's Tesla. I mean, we still have 20% of that on board right now. So, I mean, again, this is what trading is all about. Put on the trades, ring the registers, and we're here to do that. So registers being rung all over the place. We just have 4 trades today. Apple, the story speaks for that itself. That's going to be PL number 2. Amazon, PL number 1. Boom. That's to the downside. GameStop, TBD on GME. And then Tesla right there. obviously, we can see that. So we'll go 3 for 3, 4 for 4, sorry, waiting for GameStop to hit. So this is going to be one. We could take it out now for, again, 25 pennies, but let's see if we can really get going here and make today something special. So here it goes, man. Yeah, Randy. Randy is that star that we all know and love. So there he is. Shout out to Randy. But hey, this is a trading show. And this is why we put the positions at the bottom. This is why we talk about our trades. This is why you guys can talk to us in the chat at any time about anything that we're doing. Educating, showing you the style that we're trading, and hopefully putting some money into your pockets as well. So there it is, man. GameStop, let's go. Now it's 30 cents. See if we can get that fill at 22. It's been up here before and rejected off of us. So far, so good.
Yeah, so I see like, a couple people have mentioned the Virgin Galactic at $1. I just pulled it up 2 seconds ago. So I do see it over the dollar level. I generally like these breaks and holds of the dollar, but it has to kind of come back in. Maybe show me a little more volume in there as well. I just had the first short of the day for myself on Intel off the highs. It just took out the high, but then I realized, hey, it didn't take out the high, Neil. So it wicked. I see 3017 as the high, but 3016 just held currently. So it actually has not taken out the top, which means shouldn't be out of it. Going to get back in at 31, give it to the actual high of the day on Intel. And then going back over to Virgin Galactic, this would be that dollar level hold. If it pulls back in and holds a buck, I'd probably just go long ones or twos, give itself an out at 90. Apple, on the other hand, did not get down to the 190 level. It just bounced off 190.35. So it's in the pocket off this higher low. Off yesterday or Friday's bottoms or highs. So I want to see if we can get into this long. Might not wait for the 190 level. If it's just going to bottom here at 90.5, I'll take a shot at the 90.5 level back into VWAP before getting the 190 with any hope. So Intel's the only short we're in. We do like still a 21 level on GameStop. I've already taken one swing at. I'm going to take another at the actual $21 level. And as mentioned, Virgin Galactic, that dollar hold. We'll see what happens with it. But it's new on the radar here. And looks like the market is trying to make a bit of a bounce. I don't want Apple to get too far without me.
No. Okay, so Fed's Kashkari speaking right now. We're nicely in the money everywhere, so we don't have too much to worry about. That Apple was a good one there at that bottom. We probably should have picked something up down there. It's kind of funny because AMD actually hits. Are you calling for Adara?
Why are we using?
I can hear Adara, but I can't hear you guys, so we'll have to.
Same.
Okay, we got it. Okay. All right, let's go to Adara then.
This part of the show brought to you by Vantage Point AI. Vantage Point software created by world-renowned trading software pioneer Louis B. Mendelsohn forecasts stocks, futures, Forex, and ETFs with a remarkable proven accuracy of up to 87.4%. Using artificial intelligence, Vantage Point's patented neural network processes predict changes in market trend direction 1 to 3 days in advance. Scan the QR code to learn more.
So,
right.
It's not just NVIDIA today. NVIDIA double top breaking out the highs, but ARM just took out the highs and is continuing to rally. Don't sleep on the 120 level. To me, ARM is a break above the 120. If it gets above that price, I think it's like hammer time, but 120 is where everything fell apart on this stock. So about $1 away, I don't really want to be chasing it. I just got first leg back out. Why am I not long Bitfarm? Just got first leg back out on Intel. Remember I said it didn't break the high, but I got out of it? Okay, so I didn't jump right back in at the same price. But VWAP's now at the 90 level, so we're taking some profit on Intel right back into that 90 level. Still looking at NVIDIA. Super strong. There was no dip buy to be had unless you wanted, like right at the open, you had to take 1,100. I said it could drop like 20 bucks like it did on Friday at the open. It obviously didn't do that, as you guys can clearly see. So NVIDIA might be a VWAP play or bust. I just got some Bitfarm and 13s. I'm just scalping in and out of BITF. You can also trade that in Toronto, which might be better because the book looks like it's trading a lot of quote stuffing happening on the BITF instead of clean printing. So I'm going to have a look at that one in Toronto, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, again, I want to just congratulate all the traders behind us. I mean, it's been such a big change, and I just want to say congratulations to all those traders behind us now, starting to put up some big numbers, so that's very nice to see. Okay, right now the market still is one of those crazy things that we have going on right now, and we are just sitting out here trying to do what we're trying to do. Trying to hold on to Amazon, trying to look for that next trade. I know you were into DraftKings, so let's have a quick look at that one. Didn't get anywhere near where we were looking for. I'm looking for VWAP retracements back up to 37, 37.50. I mean, right now you continue to go downside here on this name. So again, a little bit of a surprise at how much it's going down, but I think both of us, we knew that we had feelings for DraftKings, and unfortunately, it was to the negative side. And I think that this is a story of just overblown a little bit, but again, what wags the tail, right? I mean, if one state starts taxing a little bit more, obviously, then
nobody wants to be left out.
No one. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's not going to change. I mean, if they can get it through, and it's just like around here, man. A pack of cigarettes is, I think I was telling this story a couple weeks ago. It's like $21 or $22 here. A 25, thank you. A case of beer here. So 24 Budweiser here is like $35, $40.
Soon to be in a convenience store near you.
Right, and super expensive. All of the stuff here, like anything that you could possibly be addicted to, the government is all about it. So again, gambling, join the club right now. So yeah, that's going to be a problem, obviously, looking forward for DraftKings. But I still like the story, and I still think it's going. Pardon? It is now. There's a couple things happening now, including what we were talking about.
True.
But more importantly, what's happening now is Adara at the big desk and these stocks.
We're getting a number here, CB consumer confidence to come in for the month of May. Previous 97.0, consensus 95.9, and the actual number 102. So pretty much higher than the consensus forecast and the previous number. A little bit of a move up here in the S&P 500, but both NASDAQ and the SPY slightly negative to flat here on the day. We have a slew of comments coming in from Fed's Kashkari, most of which here are going to be fairly hawkish, as he is known for as of late, saying that the short-term neutral rate may have gone up temporarily, also saying that he doesn't think anyone has taken rate increases off the table. So definitely some hawkishness coming out of Fed's Kashkari, and some names to keep an eye on here as we head into the rest of the session, including NVIDIA holding up pretty well here. A little bit of resistance, but up almost 5%. General post-earnings strength, and also some reports here coming out from the information that Elon Musk's XAI is planning to build a supercomputer with some of these NVIDIA H100 chips. We also have DraftKings continuing to the downside, down over 12% right now. The Illinois Senate approving this 2025 budget, which includes a pretty significant sports betting tax hike. So a couple interesting names to keep an eye on as we head into the rest of this shortened trading week, guys.
Yes, sir. And speaking of names to keep track of, AMD for a second just there was red again. We said we wanted to wait for VWAP in there on AMD. This is it tagging VWAP. It then broke 167 down. I just scalped some 80 to 50s, looking for a reload off of VWAP and then a play back into the low. While that was happening, Apple bounced off like 190.5 we mentioned. So 190 never came into play. 190.5 just bounced, looking for a play back into VWAP. Apple is trend down with two lower highs, lower lows, and potentially another lower high coming in here on Apple. So despite the good news, Apple heading in to the downside. NVIDIA just double topped as well. So watch out for anybody in the longs. With NVIDIA carrying a lot of the strength today, it just double tapped. And if we break VWAP in here, the trend upside breaking in NVIDIA could bode poorly for the overall market. Still not in GameStop. It got pretty close to 21. Why do I see 19 as a low? That can't be right. But 21 coming in, incoming for GameStop. I said I wanted a test of Virgin Galactic at $1. It's just bounced off 102 like 5 or 6 times here. So it looks like the resistance going to be, or the support's going to be at the 102. I might try to grab 3s in here with the 99 stop on Virgin Galactic. Up 22%, but they're just trying to stay compliant at this point.
Yeah, I heard that. I saw that story. That's a good one. All right, so we just got filled up on a reload of Amazon at 50 there. So let's take some out at 40 as that just came in real quick. Upside, and then now we'll see if we can take advantage of the downside. So there it is, another take for us right there on Amazon. Let's see. We wanted to stick with what's been working. So I just went back to the well, and honestly, like, hey man, if it's not dry, let's just keep doing it. But if it does take this 180.50, then we're gone. Look, I mean, we like the stock to short it, but if this market's going to sort of reverse back to the upside here, fine. We did get a good number there from Adair Consumer Confidence, 96 versus 97. So you're saying, oh, that's probably bad. But again, remember, we're in that different area right now where I'm not sure if good is bad or bad is good or what to think about anymore. So we'll wait to see about this one. We're almost out. If this takes out, I should tell you the stop 70s. So if this takes out 70s, we're gone. I'm going to take a piece out here at 60 if we can. Obviously, it hasn't been working right now. We'll see if we can take a 10-cent hit because we took some profit for 10 cents. There it goes. Oh, no, Amazon. So it looks like we'll give a little bit back here on our Amazon trade from the early morning, but oh, no, don't. There it goes. Okay, so we will slap a fail on the reload of Amazon there. This not all stocks are the same, but right there, Amazon, nice move back upside right there. Generally, I'll try to take it off the 200 period, especially a name that I thought was weaker, but the market is really starting to go. That Apple, what a good move off 190 there. It's too bad. We're still up on it, but we couldn't hold it that far down. And then right now, you know, the bell of the ball.
That was a strong number.
Is Tesla. I mean, right now, $2 in the money. Starting to go back upside. We nailed this one. We should have bought that 174 again. That's that sticky note level, but we're pretty happy with the performance so far here today. DJT, that's the last. So today, I think, is the closing case or arguments or whatever it is today. I believe they can just, I don't know if they're actually.
Oh, was that?
Yeah, like, I don't know if they're deliberating today. I don't know anything. But other than I heard on the way, I heard on the way in today that it's potentially finishing off today or tomorrow, latest this week. So we're gonna wait to see. Keep your ears posted for DJT coming through as well. I still want to short Amazon, but not yet. I don't know. DraftKings is still going down, right? Alibaba is trying to break through 80. Alibaba's been, again, a good name. Like I really like this name, yet, but though. It's not at 80. It's at 80.50. But again, like that's 80 would be the better level, yeah.
I want 80, nothing else on this week in Alibaba. It's 80 or bust.
I still think I like this short.
Unless it's breaking out 83s, which obviously you guys can see it's not breaking out 83s anytime soon. Just trying to reload Intel. If we get 31s in here, that's not a New York stock. But if Intel takes out this top, I mean, exactly I haven't really thought longs in Intel for a while. But if this is breaking 31.10, Intel looks like a long above 31.10. So I'll reload this one. The high of the day is like 31.06, as I mentioned before. Apple's trying to get back into VWAP here. Obviously, it trending to the downside, but the market catching a bid on a good consumer confidence number ultimately. If we reject VWAP, then I jump out of Apple and look for another re-entry. Just got to be patient with it. ARM's getting close to 120, but it's not at 120 just yet, so we want to give it a little bit of space. And Virgin Galactic, might have missed, you know, you probably had to take 2s in there. I missed a chance at some 3s. It's stair step up, but I'm not chasing Virgin Galactic. There will be a dip in this stock that you can participate in, I think. I mean, it's going to pull back some point, and when it does is when I'm more interested. I'm not chasing any highs on this name. GameStop, I had one shot in it. It didn't hold on to the quarters. Now it's making some higher lows, so a bit of a double bottom and a rounded bottom. We'll take another shot at this if we get those quarters, but I liked it tighter to that 21 even level. So we'll see if we can get that one on the bid. Starting to wake up a little bit on GME. And ARM is getting really close to breaking 120. Wow, 20 cents away here on ARM.
I just want everyone, so right now today, so we already got out some at 22. We talked about that on GameStop. So already that's a hot dog gun. We tried to buy more down here at 21. Honestly, I was at 21.10. It went to 21.13s. 21.15, so that's a missed opportunity. Still want to get some back in on GameStop. If we can get some lower bids, we will take it. But so far today, just to show you what real trading's about, Apple, 1 for 1, right? Amazon, we did give some back. We're back into it. We don't want to give our whole day back, but we'll short the same area we were before, 2 for 2. GameStop, you can see that take right there. That's only 40 cents, but trying to get more on that one, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. And then Tesla. Still upside right now at the 50-period moving average. Let's see where that one wants to go. So, I mean, right now it's been a big day for us. We're going to go 4 for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for 4, and then just wait for a better opportunity. And I think on Amazon, look, I mean, we had a huge move up. We had a huge move up in the futures, fine. I'm actually talking myself into taking some more. There we go, we took some more 88s there. So we're taking some more up here, futures upside right here. If we do fail back, I like the chance to put Amazon on the board again. So we'll just put that in and see if we get a fill on that one. And then after that, it's pretty simple for me. Not much else. We talked about BABA down there. On the sticky note, we have GME, Apple, and then, I know you just mentioned NVIDIA, but let's just have a quick little look here to see if anything is indeed happening with AMD. So AMD gets down to, I mean, we wrote down 164, we wrote down 166. What am I even doing? Okay, so we should have been long already. Oh man, I thought we wrote 164, all right. But AMD, good buy opportunities. We should have had that down there at 166. So let's now pay a little more attention and try to get that. So far so good, man. Yeah, SPCE. I know some of you guys are talking about that. Neil was or is looking at it.
I mean, it's making power moves. Like I said, I'm not chasing Virgin Galactic, but it's now up 33%. Remember, it's a penny stock, so percentages they're not meaningless. But you're going to be chasing this all the way to. I guess it looks like 130 is a big level here, 1/4 to 130. But I do like this over the dollar. We'll get back to it at some point. I just don't want to be up at the top. I still think there's a chance at the defense of a dollar. ARM broke 120, and I didn't get the fill on the break. Just to be clear, I am long ARM, but I did not get the actual breakout on ARM. I had to get the dip back in there. I crossed to 22, and it filled to, I guess it went to like 30 or something. So I chased it to 31, scalped the first dollar. There's a chop zone from here to 122 even. And if it gets through that, that's this area here. When it died, it was at like 122. So 120 to 122 is one level. And then I think 22 to 25 is another on ARM. This is where everything fell apart. So I think it's a key price. Nice battle's going to get waged here. Now that it's gone to 21, my stop is underneath 120 even. But it's a rocket ship to the upside for ARM. I thought it was going to be NVIDIA that was leading the way today in the chips. I didn't even have the 120 that we talked about last week on ARM set. And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, ARM, ARM, ARM. I'm like, oh yeah, 120 going to be in place. So NVIDIA's not even through its high as ARM continues to rally to the upside. Intel still holding underneath the high. It did this little wick underneath 3110. I tried to get short on the way back down in. As you can see, I missed the fill. I'll still short it, but if this breaks 3110, I think Intel's even a long at this point.
All right. I like Intel. I mean, we talked about that. I think they're going to have a computer super cycle coming up soon, and Intel is in that. So I like that. And yeah, Adam, don't. I'm just upset that I missed the AMD trade. I'm not even upset. I didn't realize it had gone all the way down there. Obviously, it's a trophy day. We've talked about that. So you got to be happy there when you're on that podium at some point. But 181. We just took another reload up there. So I am going to take another fill down here for that like 15 cents. We just got another 95, and Amazon's right back. So like we just got that 81 and 82 down there on Amazon. So I don't know, man. The market. Remember, we made a lot of money short early, and now we're just in the $2 winner on Tesla and 40 cents now on GameStop. Hopefully that continues to rip through 22, but the market could flip on us now. So we have to be careful with some of these positions. But again, I love the new style. More chilling out, waiting for those best opportunities. And look what we've traded today. Tesla, sticky note. Apple, sticky note idea number 1. DraftKings just couldn't get into it, but that would have been a moneymaker. And then GameStop long as well, which we're in. So far so good here, but the day can turn around on you very, very quickly. So with that being said, we're going to watch out for Amazon. We already have our stop up here at 181.40s. So if we get, is that right? Yeah, well, that's 40. Maybe I should put it a little bit higher. That is actually 40. That's 36. Let's go. So 40 is fine. So we're going to be up there at that level to see if we get stopped out or not. But if we do, then we're gone. So let's put that in right now. 181. Mine was at 36. We don't want to be right there. Let's just go to 42 and then mark it out of 100% of it if we're wrong, because You know, we've done that too many times where you sit there, and we've talked about that. It was Lucy. There was another stock for me on Friday as well, where you sit there and you're like, I like this trade, but I don't want to overtrade it. So I think for Amazon, we could get into that realm where we start overtrading it a little bit because of this first success. So I think psychologically, and by the way, we just reloaded Amazon again upside there at O's. As we come back in, let's take another profit spot. And this is just what we do. We always talk about different styles. Well, I mean, if that's scalping right there, we just got in at O's, out at 15s, and it's just stacking it up right now. So it's only 10-12. We're very, very comfortable. And I'm going to hit Randy up for another cup of Java because this is very, very cold. And I could get another one. So you let me know because I'm going to hit up.
I'm good. Actually, you know what? I am going to need another one. I was about to say I'm good, and then I just picked this sucker up, and it's like I got like 2 gulps left. Although it is still warm because my heater, thank you, Obi, works perfectly well. So we got a couple of movers here. Obviously, Apple's going, chips are going. ARM is continuing to hold its strength, but I just saw. Wow, I wasn't even, we were talking about Ford, but kind of just because Randy had brought it up when he was sitting in your desk, and the context was, if Ford can't hold $11.80, it would look pretty nasty. I had no reason to think that that could actually happen today, but Ford just lost a 200-period moving average, and the market, while being flat, this is down 2.5 points, not looking the best here for Ford. I might favor the shorts here back in that 200-period moving average, so that would be VWAP for them. Apple needs to get to that 123 level. Oh, and we did not mention this. I know we mentioned Coinbase was at the high. Triple top for Mara up here. If it gets there, Mara once, twice, thrice, 21.75 here on Mara. Talk about levels that you didn't think would come into play. But that looks like a nice breakout there for MARA. Coinbase couldn't do it. This is Coinbase trying to break the 240. It's trying to get back up there again. But Mara says, no, we're good. We'll just go ourselves. And remember, maybe a little bit of sympathy with this Bitfarm, potential deal with Bitfarm and Riot. So let's go into the upside as well.
All right. See the latest post. That's right. I had to edit it because I said, what's up to Mondays? Again, so we'll go to the moon. Will we? Hit the sirens. You shouldn't be apes riding rockets. I mean, you got to hit the sirens when you see that. There's something wrong. All right, there goes GME right now. We're in the money pretty nicely as it's starting to go. And by the way, remember what we said, tisk on me for getting out. But well, not really. I was happy to get out where we did because it just allowed us to do exactly what we just did right there. Go right back to the well and reload our #1 stock right there, Amazon. And now we're really starting to get going, man. This has been, again, I mean, I'm just glad. I'm not glad that Sharif's not here, obviously, but I'm glad to have Obi filling in. So he'll be all over a lot of these names here today. I don't know if he's trading Amazon or not, but Amazon right now, by far, it's not even close, the #1 stock here, Amazon for me. And then Tesla's getting up there too because, I mean, look, I understand maybe $1 is not great for a lot of you, but how does $2 sound? How does $2.50 sound right now on Tesla? So far today, just some of the picks that we've been giving you. It's 4 for 4 time. It's Apple, it's a monster. It's GameStop trying to go still. I don't know. Take it out if you want to. I'm already going to hold it for a little bit on GameStop to be there. And then Tesla, of course, one of the biggest ones here. So far, so good. And then we did miss. We missed AMD on Friday. We still had a huge day. We missed AMD today. And we've already told you the day it's been. So unfortunately, AMD will be sort of the thorn in my side because if we just had those, we'd be a little bit better off. But you know what? We're not going to complain about the day that we've been having. So it's been an absolutely fantastic one. We had a great weekend full of everything, practices, games. We have another practice tonight. It doesn't stop over there. So we're just going to keep on pushing forward, man. No rest for the wicked, but just wicked trades. So right there, I hope you enjoy it, man. $2.50 in the money, Neil, for Tesla, 50 cents in the money for GameStop, $1 for Amazon, and Apple's PL1. So we're putting on a show here.
No doubt about it. The longs are actually still right back into play. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, man.
Well, Apple could pull back in. Remember, okay, so lower highs in here on Apple. I'm trailing this now because it's still trend down. I know it's been bouncing off the levels that we like, but it's lower highs. And unless it holds VWAP right in here, this could head right back into the bottom. I just got a reload on Intel above that 31 level, so it's just wicked the top one more time. I still say if it breaks 31.10, this is a reversal long with a bit. It's like 2% up if it gets to 31.6 from 31. So that's a pretty sizable gap that Intel has above 31.10. So I am reversing into a long on that one. K-Debs just said, any thoughts on Rivian? I hadn't looked at Rivian today until just now. It's in the middle of nowhere. I think if you had this stock, it needed to already have been the first breakout, and it just bounced off the breakout price at 10.45. So, maybe you can get to this fresh high at 10.75, and then you can go again. But I'm not chasing that. At the end of the day, I think you want to be in them early. That's why you pay attention to the key levels. ARM just bounced, headed back into the high of the day. If it doesn't hold 120, I think it could go to VWAP. So I'm now getting out under 120, and I'm holding for 125. If we get to VWAP, we get to VWAP, and we'll talk about that one if and when it does get there. Virgin Galactic, I only chuckle at Virgin Galactic because remember I said there was going to be a dip? Thank you so much, Randy. I said there'd be a dip on Virgin Galactic. Well, there was, but it didn't get to $1.
Randy, I have to show you something,
110
Randy.
only on Virgin Galactic.
Randy, this is a buy, my guy. Thank you for warming up the chair. Much appreciated. It's now almost $3 in the money, and your trade of the day.
Buy those dips.
Thank you for the good vibes here today on the chair. So there it is, Randy. This guy's too much. I love Randy. Here we go. All right, so Amazon. So again, cash is out at the 200 period, right? But we are starting to go back up to the upside. We did talk about where we're trying to get out, 181.40. So we do have a reload coming up here for Amazon. It's in the 20s. Let's try Amazon-ish. I mean, how high did we get up before? I mean, now that we're kind of cruising up here, a little bit nerve-wracking. I mean, I didn't expect this. And when something happens that you don't expect, you gotta rewind and figure out what you're doing. So we're gonna wait a little bit here on Amazon before averaging into this one. Not great rate there. You want me to talk about Palantir? I mean, I love Palantir, but Palantir's down at 20 bucks. Well, not anymore. All right, was and is still in the penalty box. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Palantir these days, but it's just not performing that well. We had a little bit of a moonshot there in DraftKings and Palantir and some of these other names as well. But for right now, I got it. Palantir in and around 20, 20.5. I like the stock there, and I think it's worth a buy. I love the long-term possibilities here on Palantir. And before we go to small cap recap, Snowflake 155. I always think about them together. Snowflake moving around on earnings a little bit, down 1%. Small cap recap, kill them with kindness.
IW making a nice little recovery here off of the low of day, slightly positive on the day and seeing a little bit of a bounce here. Let's see if it can continue with this doji candle on the 3-minute chart, but decent volume for the Russell 2000 as we start this holiday shortened week. INSM Insmed still to the upside here, falling down a little bit, but still up over 100%. This is a bit of a larger small cap, market cap of around $3.5 billion and put a $45 name right now, but trading higher after announcing some positive top line steady results. So nice look for INSM. We also have predictive oncology here, POAI. This one, again, petering out a little bit, but it's trading higher initially after some positive ovarian cancer-related results here. Last but not least, Virgin Galactic SPCE. Neil was mentioning this one earlier as well. Nice look for this one. No catalyst, but we do have 25.5% short float for SPCE to the upside here, guys.
Yeah, we were just wondering about the catalyst there, but
Well, it's because I was like, what's the catalyst again? And then I was looking for it.
Float.
There isn't one, and that is the answer to that question. I did take the break.
Amazon
wanted to get an order on Virgin Galactic, but I'm gonna back off. Like I said, I don't want to chase it. I thought there might have been some kind of a catalyst, but there's literally nothing with that. So maybe we'll actually let it get back into $1 instead of chasing 110. So I was gonna bid 12s and 13s. I've just canceled them, but we've got into Mara on this triple top the last 3 days. Bit of a breakout here, trying to form there on MARA. We already had a big move up on Coin that faded the high. Mara trying to do a similar thing, and then BIT. I haven't been into BITF in a bit, but if you remember, for anybody that was following along, BITF holding 2110 or so, that bottom. This bottom here, 2110, corresponding to last week's highs, but it's a $2.30 potential offer here, and that's to me, a bit of a cap on the stock. So I'm only scalping it long. I don't think it breaks 230 unless something crazy happens. But I'm trying to get this at VWAP as it's trying to catch a bit of a bid here on BITF. But everything's going to be scalp trades on the stock.
All right. Look, we created these little GIFs because I thought they were really fun and really funny. So we're just going to keep hitting them because if you just sit here and listen to me talk all day, it's going to be a bad experience. So we're going to start to hit some of these things and start to clean it up a little bit. Look at Amazon. Nice move to the downside, but not really. We just covered some there in the low teens. So again, we are pretty nervous about it. I'm starting to get out some. We're out of half already of this brand new position. So if it breaks through 181.40, we're gone. Amazon could go here. There is no doubt about that. And look, a big shout out to one of, again, the original, if I can find it, Hydration Nation members right here. So shout out to Shakib. I know you've been here for 5 years, and this means a lot. Followed your improvement for over 5 years now, Sean Daly. You were a sensei, now a professional. So I hopefully I can still be both, but at the same point, we're just here to trade, man, and I'm just trying to improve every single day, and I'm glad that it's noticeable. And I mean, I hope that a lot of you are seeing what we're doing, and that's why I keep telling you what we're up on the day or down on the day. Like we're 4 for 4. Here today, even though we just lost on Amazon, you know, we'll go 4 for 4. And the reason why we're doing that is so you could see the continued improvement. And you could see that it's possible to put up some numbers here, make reasonable trades, be a little more calm. And Shakib, I mean, you know that. We used to trade a lot of names, a lot of names. And right now I'm just working on trying to find better ones and just trying to find the best spot for me to be in as a trader. And again, that's why. You like to trade Alibaba and some of those names. A lot of traders will like, yeah, I mean, Alibaba, come on. That's going to be a big name for me, I hope. At the end of the day, it's like trade the best way you can and try to be part of that 2%. It's very, very hard. What's up, Hydration Nation? Jarhead, there's another one. Jarhead it's been in the house, so. What?
Oh, yeah, I muted myself because I had to get up. That's the other thing too, and Jar, we appreciate all of you guys, but you have to trade your own style. Like I'll take different stocks in different setups. Like I have 2 breakouts that were levels we liked that weren't even close to where they were. One we had mentioned all week last week, which was ARM at 120. That didn't seem all that likely when we're at 115, but it came into play. We're still in it. Just an update. I now over trail at the half dollar 122 half. Bit of a push up just now in ARM, but look where the future just got to on the NASDAQ. Right into overnight, there's your overnight support levels. So if we turn here at like 18.9, 18.9, 10, I could expect a little bit of a dip, and we're now in that bigger pocket of the breakout trade. So if we don't hold on to 122.5, it's getting a little bit extended. If we hold it, I'm just going to hold the 125, consistently moving the trail higher and higher as it continues to go. So for myself, like AMD, like we'll be up significantly more than anything we lose on an AMD short. Took a couple of shots, but you just get out of it. That's a failed breakout short off a VWAP trade that I like on AMD. So I'm going to take that setup when it's there. Only going to take it when that stock sets up. But essentially, you got to keep that tight to the vest when you can. Apple is still holding higher, but just barely. So Apple, and again, putting in a bit of a lower high. And it's giving me that caution. If it gets underneath 191.5, I'm going to jump out of Apple as it looks like it's starting to run out of steam a bit. I mean, the market is doing exactly what Apple is doing, pulling back into prior support, and Apple doing the same thing and running out of steam just a tiny little bit. So we just jumped out of ARM. I said I would trail it to 122.5. It's getting a little bit extended out there. So the 120 breaks, scalp the first dollar, then we get 2.5 on the rest. Waited all week for that to happen. Whether or not Mara can do something similar on a break, I would say Mara's move, pretty tepid. ARM went right away. Mara took out that top. It's just kind of dancing back and forth. So I think the wide stop's not going to make as much sense, and I'm just going to move it into 21.60 now. It might still go, don't get me wrong, but when it takes like 5 minutes now for it to even get to 85, which is 10 cents in the money, I'm going to tighten my stop under 65. It's just not flying the way I would like to here on Mara. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
Some more comments coming from Fed's Kashkari here. Earlier in his comments today, he did say that he thought that rate increases could still be on the table. Now saying that he thinks the odds of the Fed raising rates are, quote, quite low. However, the current rates could stay on hold for, quote, an indefinite period of time. So some more generally hawkish comments here coming out of Fed's Kashkari, guys.
I don't like to hear the hawkish comments because we are now in what I gave as a trade idea of the week there in our market recap. You can go find the market recap, week ahead. That is posted up on the weekend. Adara does that. And I gave Shopify. And Shopify today is up 2% for that trade here today. So this was a trade that, you know, I sort of highlighted there in the week ahead video. I could go find it. I guess I have to go find it. But there's a little chart there that I sort of drew some funny lines, and it looks like a 60 break higher on Shopify is definitely a trade that I like. So we'll go long now. I'm just trying to get it. Look, I'm not getting out of this anytime soon. This is going to be a trade. Maybe we might be in this all day. I don't know. But you just broke higher. You're breaking above the 50 period. You're trying to go on Shopify. It's up more than the market is here today. I like this name. It's trying to break out. If we can get anything back here, a lot of love waiting for it, back into this range. If we can get Shopify back into 57, I just put, again, like a comfortable amount of shares for me, uncomfortable for others, down here in and around 57. So if we put that position on, we're gonna have to wait for it to come through. But for right now, I have this on. It just went 9 pennies in the money. That's not gonna be good enough. We think Shopify can get a lot higher. So Shopify into this area, 57.70, 57, yeah, I mean, that would be good, but I think even higher than that. 57.80, 58 was the top on Friday. That'd be nice if we got a 58. So where's the first stop zone? Maybe 65, 77. So I think 77 something for Shopify. But there it is right now. It's another. So we'll, like Neil said, again, look for your best opportunities. It's 5 for 5 right now with Shopify. So we found another one for you.
That's what it's all about, everybody. The market's still going. I'm out. You'll see I only have 2 positions. I am now out of Apple. It did not hold 191.5. It's still trending down overall. And that's the thing. Like, Apple's been a good long, but it's a stock which is putting in lower lows and lower highs, although now it has a chance to put in a higher low. I would love to see it hold VWAP, and then I would jump back into this on some potential strength in the overall market. GameStop we just put on as it came right back into the lows. So there's your dip. It's a higher low this time, so forming a bit of a wedge. It never broke 121, so as long as it's above 121, I like the long in the stock. So we're back into this one at the 21.5. That's been the level pretty much all morning long. I did say I was going to get out of ARM, but ARM holding that 120, 122.5. If there is a big dip into VWAP, it would be 120, which is the breakout price on ARM that we like. So we have to be patient for it. Just looking back at this one, it's up 7%, so I feel it's a little bit overextended. That's why we got out. Virgin Galactic, after I pulled my bid in front of $1.10, $1.10 is now held a couple of times. So if this gets back through 12, I think I'll try to take a 12 long on Virgin Galactic. I was going to wait for VWAP or $1 even, but you know, the stock is being uncooperative with the levels that I happen to want, and that's going to happen. Everybody wants to be long at $1 on these things, and if you don't get it early, sometimes you have to find a new level to get in. So Virgin Galactic up 30%. There is no particular catalyst here, just a big short float, and sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, a lot of the.
Oh, sorry.
Dara?
Yeah.
All right.
Crypto update.
Interesting note here from the global managing director of JP Morgan saying in an interview with The Block that he does not believe there will be SEC approval for some of these other crypto ETFs, including Solana, saying that he actually already thought it was kind of shocking that they approved Ethereum. So basically, JP Morgan's global managing director saying that while the Ethereum approval did come, it was unexpected. So unlikely, in his opinion, that we will get some SEC approval for some other crypto ETFs. So interesting note there. In terms of Bitcoin itself, we do have that continued rejection of that 72,000 level after a little bit of chop and churn here last week on the daily chart around that 68, 69,000 level, falling down a little bit here just clinging on to that 68. Ethereum still above that 3,800 level, edging towards 3,900. So nice look for ETH, though it is down in the day. Solana, nice look here, up almost 2% right now. Chainlink also positive, up about 4.33%. But the rest of these crypto names generally pretty weak. Dogecoin down about 5%. Cardano down about 2%. Avalanche down about 1 2/3%, guys.
To everyone over there hodling some of those coins. Coinbase really going nuts. All right, so I just canceled my offer at 176 for Tesla. It's $2.50 in the money, but maybe we can get even higher. We were just at 176.50. Let's see a 200 period. If we can get that, then I think that's pretty good. We're now trying to break above VWAP. Look at this, what's happening on Shopify. We've already gotten some good outs there. That high is 173. Let's see if it can take it. GME still doing nothing. So I don't know. This has been, we've topped out here a couple times at 176 on Tesla. I feel pretty responsible taking it here. We only have 20% left. I feel like this is a good place to do that. So why don't we just do it? 176, basically. So let's see if we sit here 10 more cents and we will ring the register here on Tesla and then just put $2.50 in our pocket. I mean, that's going to be a good trade for me. So we'll do that if we're able to. Hopefully it doesn't go down too far from here. Shopify is having a little bit of a problem at this level. Maybe we should take some more out. I don't know. We're long at 53. We only have out 10%. There it is. We'll take some more out as it comes back up to the upside. But for right now, we'll hold out hope that Shopify wants to go a bit higher. I have an offer at 76, and that's it. And then I have lower bids. I mean, you know what? Let me just put an offer even higher than that just in case it gets into the 90s again, because I think that would be a pretty good trade. But so far, not the greatest mover, Shopify, but we have it, and it's in the pocket, and it's making us a little bit of money. And there's Tesla. We can end that trade. This is going to be, for me, the trade of the day. Tesla right there, in and out for that name. We bought the dip. Remember I said we were going to buy this dip? And I was like, you know, we didn't do it on AMD. We didn't do it on AMD on Friday. We hummed and hawed about it. This time we stepped in front and took a trade there on Tesla. So that makes a lot of sense. We like that one. Now only down 2%. Was down 3% at one point. And then the other big trade that we had today, well, we've had a couple big trades. But the other real big one was Apple, and that was just early. So we had got that early, and then it lost to 191, and we got out. So for right now, we'll just hold that. We'll be at our highest spot as soon as I get out of all of these trades. Shopify pending. So that is what that is. And yeah, AMD. AMD, I know I wrote down 166, so we should have a $2-3 winner on board. But I thought I wrote down 164, so I should have double-checked my own notes there a little bit more as we go. But there it is, 166 holds. It goes down to 165. We would have been out of some, but probably bought it back. Not that this would be a huge winner. Trying to slow down at 170, and I know NVIDIA's pulling off 25, right? So, yeah, 20s actually. Didn't even get to 25. So, yeah, a little bit of a fun day here, highlighted mainly by Tesla.
Finally catching a waking. Still good. Still going to get a bounce here on GameStop. I still think this one could moon, but it might be a late day moonshot. We've seen this pattern before multiple times on GME where it's like, it's not doing anything. It's a dip. It can't seem to break VWAP. It's just holding lower and lower. And then late in the day, the longer it holds onto that bottom, you get the big runner. So I still think that could be the case. I'm going to wait for VWAP for any ads. It's either long off this bottom, but if we get above 22.5 and start doing any of this type of action where you break out and start dipping, then we'll go into it a little bit more. So for now, it's in the pocket. I just scalped them out because if it's going to be 20, 30 cents off this bottom and off the same 21.5 level, we'll just go over and over with it and continue that pattern. Apple, it's a good one. Obviously, ARM ended up coming out of nowhere at 120 for me, but Apple still can't seem to hold this VWAP. As the market starts to roll over, I'm going to go back to the well. We're either going long 190.5 or going long at 190. If you like a dip buy, you wait for it to get to that price and then only engage there. Intel still wants to hold 31 even, just barely. But ARM, it got to 123. If this is now the opportunity for a dip, we're going to look for our dip into 120. That's also going to be VWAP, but this market's starting to come in here a little bit. So I do want to be locked and loaded, ready for a VWAP dip on ARM. Looks like Apple might not be holding out after all.
Yeah, we're, and again, see, like, so just so everybody's on the same page here, you know, like when we get out of Tesla at 176, I look back and when I see this name at like where it is now, I almost think to myself, we just made 20 cents. So sometimes you gotta take profit where it lies, and if you like it, you can always get back in. Like, you know, that's the one thing. We just said, like, we get out of some more Shopify. Shopify scared me there, started going to the downside. So we did take some more profit there on Shopify. We took some more out right around here, 67, 68. Unfortunately, we don't have that 69 fill. But if we can get back up to the upside, I do have a 76 offer, and then nothing else until the 90s, as we talked about that. So that's going to be a trade that we're going to look at right now as well. And some days aren't like this, but today will go perfect. And hopefully be able to hold this throughout the afternoon. I'm going to go for the walk. We're going to chill out. But the most important thing is what is for lunch. All right. So again, everyone's favorite segment is about to hit. So pay attention, everybody out there. Today, not super excited for this. Although yesterday we had some really, really great butterfly shrimp, which were fantastic. We had that and then some chicken wings. We put those in the air fryer. Those were really nice last night. Herb and panko crusted. I love putting panko when I make my own burgers. Herb and panko crusted salmon fillet. So, I mean, we'll barbecue that up. You don't want to, if you barbecue salmon, you got to put a steam sky down. Steamed basmati rice with steamed broccoli. So, a couple words of steamed being used right there. Broccoli. So, what's up, Hamster? What's up, Alex? And everybody else right there. So, people liking the choice of salmon. I just hope it's tuna on the salad. But wow, what a good day, man. 10:40, and we've had ourselves a day. So tomorrow I will be walking in again in and around 8:40. If we could put up these kind of numbers, we maybe will be late every day. Was really relaxing to be stuck in all that traffic, not really. And then I had to show up on my phone stuck in traffic because that's how we roll. All right, next thing to trade here for me would probably be DraftKings, but I'm just gonna wait for a little bit of a pull higher on DKNG in and around 37.
I just saw someone put in the chat like Moderna. I'm like, I haven't looked at Moderna since I sold half. Down 8% mRNA. So look, sometimes you get relatively lucky. I'm gonna say, okay, thank you, chart, for loading up even further. Just remember, like if you go back further on the daily chart, big level, 150, 160. So I took some out on the way up. So that's your top in there at 160. And Moderna pulling back in. I'm leaving the rest. We'll see what happens. If it holds on to these major moving averages, I think it could go even higher. But Moderna taking one on the chin a bit today. Let's see what else is going on in sectors that aren't just the chips with Adara and Sector Watch.
It's funny that you mentioned Moderna there. That was one of the ones I was going to talk about as well here with that significant weakness. Not seeing any catalyst on that, but it could be a bit of weakness after that strength we had last week for mRNA story. Health technology generally pretty weak here alongside finance, producer manufacturing, commercial services, health services, process industries, transportation, consumer non-durables, and retail trade. So a lot of weaker sectors here. With regards to consumer non-durables, with regards to retail trade, keep an eye on Lululemon here, getting a pretty steep price target decrease from Stifel ahead of its earnings coming in this next week. So keep an eye on LU here. We also have some positive sectors to talk about. Energy minerals, pretty strong amidst some strength in oil prices. Also, NVDA and the semiconductors leading the way in electronic technology. Tech services, a bit of an interesting look as well, a little bit weaker, but PANW, Palo Alto Networks, significantly weaker, down about 3%. Zscaler, another cybersecurity name, getting some downgrades this morning, so that could be part of the explanation for this move to the downside, guys.
Like that. I mean, I was looking at I was looking at Lulu, but I was looking at Eli Lilly on that board there. Yo. It's back up to 802 right now. I had a nice move down and then a nice move back up. And then I saw someone in the chat say, what about Lululemon? Yeah, I mean, this stock has been an absolute nightmare. If you, that falling sword there on there, we'll have to send when their next earnings report is. But right there, 390, not great. And then now you're starting to make lows. So this probably going to get to a spot now where it's about time I might step in on some of this and start to pick something up. There's also Ulta Beauty is really low down, and I really like that name as well.
I thought you were...
So if Lulu... Well, no, I already got in trouble for not buying e.l.f. because, again, smartest one of the group is my wife. She nailed this one at 140. That was about 3 days ago. Now it's at 190. The other name is Amazon that I want to buy on any downside moves. Although we made money today on Amazon, we did not pick any up in our own personal account, but I definitely like that name. But yeah, ULTA also reports this week. Ulta Beauty. Sephora eating their lunch a little bit. We don't have Ulta Beauties around here, but trust me when I tell you, Sephora
They do okay.
gets a hell of a lot of my money, and I have a daughter, and she's going to be using a lot of Sephora, doing a lot of Sephora shopping. I imagine she already does. So right into this area right now, that's the market. But for Ulta Beauty, they're reporting. Again, we've already sort of pulled this back. There's some nice support down here in and around 380. I don't think it's worth catching something heading into earnings, but if it is a good earnings report, you might have seen the bottom here in ULTA, and that could be something to be bought for the long term. So I think my next couple buys, although I'm not ready to do that yet, would be probably, I like Lululemon down here. I'm already into Nike. I want to buy some more Palantir. I like Amazon. And I'm probably holding back on some of that Uber, but Tesla's been really good for me. So I have some of those other buys that we've made. Baba in the low 70s again. We talked about that.
It just bounced 80 again.
It bounced 80 again. So, all right, I don't have much going on right now other than, Shopify. Actually, we must have got something out there, 70. No, we didn't. So it just went to 73s again. I'm at 76. So a little bit of a downside mover here would be nice upside for Shopify would be nice. But other than that, it's 10:43 and we're ready to put some more on.
Yeah, again, you just got to be patient. So 80, I just mentioned Alibaba at $80 because it bounced off 80. We waited for the $80 level. The low of the day is $80.04. I got long 10s and then a little bit more at 12, so you can see my price is 11. So if it changes to 12, it's just because I got in twice. But next level up, we just took some out of quarters, 80, 50, and then VWAP. Alibaba's trending down 1%. But remember, on the daily chart, this is the support that we like on BABA. The 200 period sitting underneath there. $80 held on Friday, $80 held on Thursday. If it holds again today, I think we could at least see VWAP, if not the $81 level. Still think Apple could be in play, but it's doing its best to hold up the higher low. We'll go back to the 3-minute chart for you guys. If it can get back into VWAP, I'll go for that. It's still in the pocket where I'd be looking for the actual bottom that we got last time, which was $90.50 in front of 190 even. So dancing in the middle and diddling, let's just say diddling in the middle a bit, is Apple. GameStop, probably should have reloaded this one in the 50s. I got greedy and thought, if it's going to dip into the 40s, 40s better than 50s. But it just bounced at $21.50. So it's only better if you actually get the fill. Right? Like, it's a better price, but if it doesn't get back down there, then it's of absolutely no use. I don't want to move just yet because this is still going asleep. And then Virgin Galactic, there's a dip into VWAP, 106. Now trying to hold higher. Yeah, I'm going to go for this over 105. So first things first, move my stop, which I already have at like 98 cents. I'm not going to be trading it down there. Move it down into VWAP, and then see if we can get a little something on a dip buy in Virgin Galactic. The one without the catalyst. And as I said, you see me in and out of BITF. So I'll just go over here. It's just doing this dance at VWAP, but it's holding higher lows with a top at 228, offers at 230. I am not shorting the stock. It's just when you put multiple offers out there, like some get coded as short, so I don't have a single short trade on the stock. I've only been going long here. The last one's in 16s and then some at 15, getting out 17, 18, 19 on the way to the upside. But Alibaba's the newest position. We said we liked that 80 level. It was my trade this week, bouncing off the 80s. So we'll see if it continues to hold the same support that it has for the last couple of weeks now, at least.
All right, lots of positivity behind us, man. We have like 2 or 3 negative traders, which is amazing. So congratulations to everyone behind us putting up those numbers today. Good one on all of you back there. So look, I'm still in GameStop, and that top has been 22 and change. We already have one out, but I'm still holding 2/3. It has been slow and boring, but I'm waiting for that play. So hopefully we can get going, man. And if we can get back up into 23, I think that's worth it. That's 22.80s, 22 and change. So that's a trade definitely that I'm waiting for and hopefully being able to get into almost immediately. if it pops up and then back down to the downside in and around 21. I mean, you want to talk about a rocket ship, and again, I'm not going to look at the chat because Adam's going to say, don't worry, Sean, you're still up and you're having a great day, but that is true. But look at AMD though, 3% and really going like insane right now. There has to be some kind of an upgrade or something that just hit on this name. I mean, NVIDIA's doing nothing, and AMD, although I just pushed back and it went to GME, AMD, just going AME. Hey, what's up, Amy? Going straight up to the upside right there, 172 and change, ripping right now goes AMD.
Curry's still
172, 172.50. I mean, this, where do we stop? Nobody knows. It is the carnival ride that is AMD, 172.20. Wow.
It's the behemoth.
It is just going, and
it's the Leviathan.
yeah, it is definitely the Leviathan. You probably did not go on that, did you?
No, because yeah, my daughter's too short to go on that.
Well, obviously.
I mean, yeah, like, what are you gonna say?
God.
We basically only go on what she's everywhere.
Okay. So 170, 172.50, maybe the stop zone there, but AMD is really starting to go off. Congratulations again. Wish we would have done that. Got some more out there. I might just take some GME here. Oh, there we go. We just punched them out at 22. Spin it. That's it. We'll take another 50 cents, or sorry, 40 cents on GME. It's not another 40 cents, it's the same 40 cents, but we'll take it again. We've already got out once, we already got out twice. Shout out right there to Alex Enzo, man. Thank you so much, because without you guys, I didn't see it. So good job right there. Now we'll wait to see what happens. Thank you, Alex, for that trade there as well. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and you know, make sure you share this stream. We're working on more podcasts. We're working on a lot of stuff. I told you we had that week ahead video that went out that was doing really well. We've got the market recap show later on today, and then we've got the midday show coming up with Obi and Adara. That should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I expect it's going to be even though it's a holiday shortened week, it's still a great one because at the end of the day, NVIDIA's move has been giving you everywhere else to look. Whether you trade NVIDIA or not, you saw AMD rallying today, you saw ARM going absolutely ham, and it's not even just those two guys. We talked about Dell already, but guess what's back at load? What's back at the $900 level after a wipeout bottom today. Like SMCI was getting its butt kicked, and now it's back at $900. So there's a wipeout bottom. This takes out the top. We don't usually trade this name, but I know a lot of people play options on this bad boy, looking to close above the 50 period, which it's been rejecting over and over again. And a stock that's rejecting the 50 period that is breaking out today that could have a similar pattern for SMCI is look at AMD. AMD is like 1 day ahead of that SMCI. Rejecting the 50 on the daily, rejecting, finally gives you strength above, and now looking to take out the top. SMCI looks exactly the same, but like a day behind on compared to NVIDIA. So if it closes above this 900, you could see this one potentially breaking out. My trade this week was just the $80 support level on Alibaba. I just got some out at 40s. I want this to get into VWAP as we've taken 80 to 80 quarter, some out at 40s. Now we're holding for VWAP on Alibaba. Down 1%, but it's the level that we like as we go to Adara for Money Talks.
DXY in its third straight day to the downside here, just slightly below that 104.50 level. Not a ton of economic data coming out today. We did get that consumer confidence print coming in higher than expected, 102 versus 96 estimated for the month of May. Not tons of economic data as stated, but lots of Fed speak, specifically coming from Fed's Kashkari here. Kashkari saying that there is still strength in wage growth and that there are some ways in which this policy is sufficiently restrictive, but it's not restrictive by all measures. Also making some kind of inconsistent remarks here with regards to rate increases, saying earlier in his speech that he doesn't think anyone has taken rate increases off the table, and then saying that the odds of the Fed actually raising the rates are going to be quite low, but the rates could stay where they are for an indefinite period of time. So generally lots of hawkishness coming out of Fed's Kashkari. We do get some comments from Fed's Cook coming in around 105, so definitely stay tuned for those. Also worth noting here, I have the Euro to USD relationship up here as well. Nice strength for the Euro for the third day in a row. Some comments coming in a little bit hawkish here from some ECB speakers, including Centino, and not saying that it looks like there will be, unfortunately, a little bit more of a hard landing scenario for the European economy. So move up here for the EU, the euro, guys.
All right, I feel like I just got filled somewhere, but I did not. We do have, 88s. Yes, I did. Okay, so we'll take this right there. AMD, we are short off that top. Let's see if it wants to make some moves down. I'm starting to cover a little. Okay, okay. Oh my. Wow. Okay. I mean, I didn't think, we just put this trade on 6 for 6 right now today. So there it is right there. That's another, honestly, I don't even, we're just sticking with our guns, man. There's Apple, there's AMD, there's Amazon, there's GME, there's Shopify, there's Tesla. I mean, let's look at what AMD is doing. Thank you, Amy, to the downside right now as we continue to go lower and lower and lower there on AMD.
Chart.
As we go. Yeah, that's Tesla right now. Here's AMD right there. Nice move down on this as we just loaded it up on that upside, 172 and change. So there it goes again. It is another one. And right there for AMD. So I don't know if it's going to head up or down. We're now at a half of that. Our stop was 25 cents. So we're now in the money 50. So let's start to take some more profit there on AMD. Shopify, we're in the money now. Oh, sorry, we're not in the money now, but we've already taken profits out. We have half of this position left. I don't know. Maybe it's not going, but I still think there's a chance. So we're going to take a little bit more here at the 50 period, and then we're going to give this to 57.15s. That looks like I got to change my stop order on that one because it's getting a little tighter right there. But this could be, we already said Tesla could have been the trade of the day there. We got out a little bit early. Now I'm almost thinking that this AMD, if we fall back in here, this could be the doozy that we're looking for. We might have missed the bottom, but maybe we had gotten the top right now. I don't know. We're out of half right there of AMD. And man, what a day, what a day. Hit the like and hit the subscribe. AMD to 220. Could be true, just won't be today.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually, for sure.
Yeah, I think we always hear this like, oh, this stock to that price. I mean, come on, if it's a good company, the answer is usually a resounding yes. Everything just comes down to your time horizon. It's no chance it gets there today. But 220, of course, being the highs on the daily. It's super strong on AMD today, but it's not the only chip name rallying. We talked about some of these other ones to the upside. I still favor a dip by an arm, but I just don't know if we're going to get what we want out of this stock and down into the 120 level. I'm out of BITF. I'm going to get back into the scalp trade. I'm looking at like 14s and 15s. So maybe even VWAP starts holding in there. Just going station to station on this bad boy as it continues to go up. GME still at exactly 22. So 22.20 on GameStop, like once, twice, thrice. It just can't seem to get through this price. So what I'm going to do is listen to myself. And if I said this stock is boring until it breaks VWAP, this time I'm going to get out, look for a reload at 21.5, and then go long only above VWAP or back down at 21.50. So we just had 50s long and took it out at 22.10s. If it gets above 22.50, then we'll go for that long one more time. Alibaba still off the 80 level. We'll look to reload that one as well. So just trying to keep things in the pocket. I still like an Apple long, but Apple still downward trending. We're not going to get the bottoms, doesn't look like. Maybe a little hold of VWAP or a 192 break could be in play for the afternoon, or through lunchtime, I should say. As it's 10:55, this is where you want to lay back, only take the best levels, which you should always be doing, but a little more patience required at this time of day. Speaking of which, I've had too much patience with Virgin Galactic, because every time I like a level for a dip, I'm not really getting it. It's right back at the high of the day. I'm definitely not chasing this. I feel like the best opportunities might have come and gone in Virgin Galactic unless it's retesting one or breaking out the top and going ham again.
All right, welcome back. Only 5 minutes left, and look what AMD just did. I cannot make some of this stuff up. I mean, we just went all the way back up, then we got filled, and then it came all the way back down, and we got some 70s. My stop is 30s. The high of the day was the stop, and we just took a 21 short, gave it 10 cents, and then made 40 cents. So it's now 10 cents in the money if you want to go 1-to-1, but we are very light. We're getting out here, like a little bit more of a break. We only have like probably now about maybe 15% left, something like that. There it comes back in again. I'm not even, this is just getting to be a little a little maddening to trade higher level shares, honestly. It's too much. It's just a little bit too wild, so we'll hold back on that one. I mean, NVIDIA is really not doing anything. It's AMD that is really, it doesn't look like it's doing anything to like some of you that, maybe you're just on the sidelines looking to say, hey, it's not moving. It's going from like 172.25 to 172. True, that is what it's doing. But at the same time, that's a scary proposition. Like I just took it out right there for 20 cents. And I'm happy as to take that trade right there. So that's another dub for us, and we'll put that on the board. But, looking for lower here, I'm actually going to cancel my 80s, see if we get lower. Let's see if we get into the 50s again here on AMD on that reload. So we'll end you, we'll end you on the day here right now, going 6 for 6 with a monster day. So all is good there. And now GME, I mean, again, GME brought to you by the Sticky Note and by all of us talking about it here today. We're long GME right now. Almost every trade we've put on today, besides Shopify, still waiting for that to move, has pretty much printed you $1. So there it is right now. GME now 80 cents in the money. Let's see if we can get $1 for that one. We're still holding out on AMD, although we've already taken that to the downside. And then it's Shopify is the last one standing, although you're at the 50 period now. We could probably get a little bit more in here, but we're gonna hold off on that. And then there goes AMD, see ya. But again, keep that money in your pocket and just drip it in there. You just saw me cover some at 02 for 25 cents. There's the out, and we probably got a good fill. I just use market orders. Yeah, we got 32s. So the break was 31. We got a 32 fill. So far, so good there. Only 2 minutes left. I'm back at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we're right back at 2 o'clock, and we're right back to what I hope is brass tacks. Like, just focus on your key levels. Don't overtrade in the middle of the day. If you see something running, try to figure out why. Like, I just saw a couple people mention HIMS in the chat.
Wow,
we know this from last week. It's up another 8% today, so a bit of a squeeze play, 15% short float on HIMS. I don't know if it has any other catalysts today, but if you remember this from last week, it got to 20, dipped, held on. I mean, it doesn't really hold on to 17 even, which is a previous high in the daily, but it is back above that 17 today. So a trend back into 20 could be reasonable. Just understand, when this got to 20 last time, it was a pretty big reversal as well. Wow, and NVIDIA is taking this one. It's weird to call it like taking this one off when it's up 5.5%, but it just made another fresh high. I'm gonna get over here because look, Alibaba's trending back down into 80 as the market's going back up. So it did bounce successfully off 80, but I don't know how much I'm gonna like a reload in here if this stock is gonna be this much counter trend. So unfortunately, it only really gets halfway into VWAP or just a little bit better than that. And it's gonna have to show me a good double bottom for me to like going back over to this, because this market is super strong right now. I thought we'd get an ARM dip by, and ARM's like, what are we talking about? We're not going anywhere near VWAP or the 120 level. So we'll have to find my way in, but I'm not chasing these tops. Let's see how NVIDIA does with this top rake. If it holds it, I think there can be re-entries into all of those chip names as well. But yeah, it's been a fun one this morning. I don't think we're necessarily dead yet. Apple's trying to climb to VWAP, so if that gets back above VWAP, this market is going to do better than the 0.25%. It feels like we're up more than 0.25% on the NASDAQ. I guess really it's because Apple's been underwhelming mostly. That said, it's 11. It is time for Learn to Trade. We've got Obi stepping in for Sharif after his birthday turning 25 years old, or 50, whichever one you want to believe. We have Obi filling in. Sharif getting that time.
Yeah, it's much closer to one than the other. But
I think it's obvious which one, but that's okay. Yeah. I'm not that young myself. But let's get Obi and Adara. It's Learn to Trade. We're back at 2. Go get them.
Hi everyone, welcome to How to Trade, FKA, formerly known as the Midday Show. I am Adara, this here is Obi. We are pleased to be with you guys here to ring in a